Wow.
How are you?
Well, I'm good.
Good, good.
How was your day?
That's a good question. My day was pretty normal. I mostly was just doing I was gonna say chores. I went out, but honestly, it was mostly just to like deposit tips and stuff.
Mm.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't really do a lot today. But that I guess that's fine. Took it easy.
Of course, it's fine.
Yeah, I woke up. I decided to go deposit some tips and grab some lunch, and then I pretty much, I think, just like went to bed after that, or like I took a nap. Took a nap, read some mangoes, and then I did some more of that, and now I'm here.
Wow.
Way. Oh, I played some video game. That's what I did. I was like, what did I do? I feel like I did so. I played a little bit of Elden Ring.
Video game.
Videos, James.
Do you like Elden Ring?
Yeah, I've been enjoying it.
Okay.
Yeah, I just haven't had a lot of time to play it, just because it's I've been busy.
It's a pretty big game.
It is. There's a lot of stuff to do in it. And I told you that I had to take Philip to the vet the other day
Why?
because he was throwing up.
Oh yeah, the grass throw up.
Yeah. Eventually we figured out. I took him on Thursday, I think. Probably. Yeah, it must have been Thursday. We took him to the. Well, I took him to the emergency vet, and turns out, I mean, or at the very least, they couldn't figure out anything like super specific. But they were like, maybe you're just like feeding him too much food. He might just be. It might just be eating too much. He's an orange cat, so he has no sense of self-control.
I mean, that makes the most sense to me because you guys have historically had a problem with him and food.
Just eating everything he can get his hands on. Yeah.
Everything in sight, yes.
So, yeah. They sent us home with some anti-nausea medication, and they're just like, just feed him a little bit less, and maybe some like better food. So we got him some better food. We've been feeding him. We reduced his feeding schedule so that it's, you know, more in line with what it should be. Because we were just following the like package instructions on the like cat food, but they want you to feed your cat a lot of food.
Really?
Yeah. Like the thing is that for like the past, at least for the past couple like bags we've gotten, they're like, if your cat is like 15 pounds, you should be giving them like a cup of food a day. And the vet was like, that's too much food.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
Especially for a goldfish like Philip.
Yeah, he just doesn't know how to stop. So we've been feeding him the anti-nausea medication every day. They gave us
Okay.
4 tablets, and it's really easy to get him to eat it. I just kind of like squeeze a cat treat over it, and then it's gone. It just disappears.
Man, I swear, like I've been having to give Clover medication for her, her post-spay surgery business,
Yeah.
So like antibiotics for her incision because she messed with it so much that it got infected, and then
Baby.
pain medication for the the actual incision, and so. At first, it was fine, right? I would put a little peanut butter and surround the pill with the peanut butter, and then she'd be like, ooh, and she'll just gobble it up, right?
Uh-huh.
But then, as the days passed,
Uh-huh.
she became savvy that there was something in the peanut butter.
Oh my god.
And so she would just slurp it all up and then just spit out the pill.
Oh my god. How big of a pill was it?
It's not even that big because I cut it in half. So
my
it's like you
God.
imagine like a normal little like tablet pill, and then I cut it along the little line that's in the middle.
Uh-huh.
And so it's like half a tablet, like because I know she spits them out. And so I was like, oh,
Yeah.
maybe it's the size. Maybe if I cut it smaller, it'll help. No, it doesn't help.
No, she's
And
a
so-
sensitive little baby.
So I just have to do it the mean way, where you have to like basically put it in as far back in her throat as possible so she doesn't spit it out. And I hate doing
Yeah.
it that way. She hates it, but she spits it out.
Yeah. Oh, baby. I
The
don't
only
know.
one that, yeah.
I think part of it is just that the pill is like super, like our pill is super tiny. It's like a grain of rice.
Oh, that's good. Like, that makes it so much easier. I mean, honestly, I've thought about like chopping it up even smaller, but then I'm like, I mean, at this point, I might as well just grind it up, right?
Grind it up, yeah, right. Just grind
in
it
a
up and
mortar
like
and
slip
pestle.
it in some soup. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a certain point where you just got it. It's like just like feeding a child vegetables. You gotta like hide it.
Yeah, right. The only one that she's fine with is the one that's in a capsule, because those are tasteless.
Yeah.
But it's the ones that are like the little chalky tablet kind of deals.
Yeah.
Those are the ones where she can taste it, and she's just like,
Wow.
hey.
I don't think Philip can taste anything. I don't think he considers taste at all. He'll just slurp it right up.
Consume. If it is a thing that looks like it is edible, it is going.
Yeah. Like obviously, if sometimes I just okay. So I put put the pill down in the bowl before I get the treat out, just to see if he'll just eat it. And he sniffs it. He's interested in it, but as soon as I hide it in there, it disappears. It's gone. So I don't know. I don't think he really has taste buds. I think he
That's
just kinda
so
eats
funny.
whatever. But he goes fucking nuts for new treats.
Hey, Mads, what's up? Are we grinding the bones of men? No, our animals are.
Yeah. So it's been a bit of a stressful week because Philip has just been throwing up all week. He's like, bleh.
Oh, I feel that.
I'm
It's
like,
also
why are
a
you
concern
throwing up,
here.
my son?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, we have a vet appointment scheduled for him, but the first appointment we get was next week, right? And that was we
Mhm.
scheduled it a week ago. So we're like,
Mhm.
okay, well if he throws up again, we have to take him to the emergency vet. So we went to the emergency vet and we're like, hello, my child is throwing up. Can you help us, please? And they're like, oh, do you want to put your cat on a diet? I'm like, I mean, I don't think he needs to be put on a diet. I just need him to stop throwing up, Like he's a little chunky, but I love my son the way he is. I don't need you to fat shame my cat.
Rigging and body image issues, I see.
I mean, the thing is that he's not even He's not even like a small cat, right? Like it's not like he's like a tiny cat that is like massively obese. He's like a large, very long cat.
Yeah, he's huge.
I mean, like he can stand up on his hind legs and like reach above the like doorknob. So like he's a big boy.
Yeah, he's huge.
He gets a lot of exercise too. He runs around and stuff.
Oh, that's good.
Bailey's
We
losing
have a
weight and he's
cat who
really
is
slow.
huge and definitely overweight.
Yeah, like Philip's got a bit of a tummy to him, but
Yeah.
I don't think he's like. I don't think he needs to lose that much weight. I think he was just eating a little bit too much. But the thing is, he wasn't even like gaining that much weight past like 15 pounds. Is the thing. He just was eating too much and it upset his tummy. But yeah, I mean, we're not really sure we're still not really sure what's going on with him. He seems better, but obviously he's on the anti-nausea medication. If he starts up again after we stop giving him the anti-nausea medication, then like, you know, we might have to talk to the vet, being like, ask him like, do you think he has like an ear infection or something? You know, because you know, yeah, because if he has some kind of like vertigo or like an ear infection or something, I think it probably shouldn't do that though, just because like he stopped using his cat tree a little while ago. Like he stopped like getting on top of it. And we were like, we just thought he got bored with it, but it might just be that he was like, I don't want to kite places. They make me feel sick. And that might have been a result of eating a little bit too much. But that was, you know, that was when we started using the automatic feeder. So those things might be related. They might be correlated. Yeah, I guess cat food packages just lied to us about how much we should feed the cat.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Yeah, so the vet was like, you should be giving your cat this much. And I'm like, how would I have possibly known that? Like,
Yeah.
I do what the package tells me to.
Right, because you think that they know best because they made the food.
Yeah, they just want to sell you more cat food, I guess.
Right. They want to make your cat obese.
I mean, listen, the bigger your cat gets, the more cat food you gotta buy.
Right.
You're gonna go through it faster. So, yeah, I don't know. He seems to be doing better, and he seems to be bright and full of energy. He was never really out of energy, to be fair. Like, that was the thing that the vet was like asking about. They're like, hey, is your cat like losing his appetite at all? You know, is he like hiding away? And we're like, no. Literally, anytime he hears anything remotely like resembling food or packaging, he's like, huh, I'm here.
Oh my god.
So they're like, yeah, just tell us if he like loses his appetite or anything, and we're just like, no,
He'll never.
not even a little bit. That every time, like, when he got neutered, and you know, after he got his the hair tie removed from his butt, every time the vet is like, yeah, he may be like a little loopy, a little lethargic, and he gets home, he just starts zooming. Like, he may lose his appetite for a little bit, and no, he's hungry immediately. He's like, oh, you've starved me for 24 hours so I can get an X-ray. Give me some fucking food right now.
I will tear this house apart.
So anyway, that's my disaster boy. He's a hardy boy though. So yeah, let's play some Ace Attorney, huh?
Oh! Secondo parto. Bailey's
Wait, do we have
losing
to-
weight in his
Oh,
old
we have
age.
to select a new adventure.
10 pounds.
Wait.
Bailey, he said so
was that
cute.
correct?
Huh?
I don't know if I hit the right one.
歴史的な開国から
We're in Japan.
文明開化の大号令の下
It's been so long since we started this game, I don't remember.
まさに今西洋文化
I might have
の
accidentally
大
hit the
波
other
が押し寄せ
game.
ていた活気に満ち溢れる帝都の民は
While we're getting off a boat.
革新の熱気
Ship,
にむせ
rather.
返りその変化に戸惑う者も飲み込んで
Oh, I think this is the
時代は
cutscene for the first
大
game.
き
Yeah,
な
yeah.
うねり
The Adventure of the Great Departure. I think that's it, yeah. That must be the first one, right?
Bailey demands a minimum of 3 ice cubes with each meal. I will not eat without my ice cubes.
Back to title. No, we don't need to save. It's fine, it's fine. The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Pick an adventure to play. There we go. Yeah, baby.
Boy. Pew, 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 pew.
Oh, baby. Oh, you hear those cicadas? We're in Japan. We're in glorious Nippon right now.
Oh.
Oh, bro, is your dad dead? Oh, no!
Wait, is it Kazuma or is it...
ロンドンでのあの日々がまるで嘘のようでございます。懐かしい異国の大帝都。あの方はそれは立派な弁護士になられました。今もきっとかの地の法廷で勇敢に戦っていると存じます。
Bro, I don't know if he's taken a case since you left.
We know how
ご挨拶が遅くなって本当に申し訳ございません。
descendants do in these kinds of
慌ただしい
situations.
日が続いたものでございますから。
Maybe it is
そ
Kazuma.
れに一体誰が想像したでしょうか。この国に戻ってからたった2ヶ月。
Oh no.
Oh, more crime.
Oh no. I hope it's not Yoruto. It's the freaking lady!
Oh, she's back.
今日は
With
ご
her
報告に参
giant
りまし
life. I mean, it's a live swan.
た。私は大審院の法廷に立ちます。一生にただ一度。弁護士として。
Oh,
Oh?
oh, oh, are we lawyering? Oh, baby, are we lawyering?
Let's go.
Oh, she's dead!
力を与えてくださいませ。
Her and her swan.
カズマ様。
Okay, that's Kazuma's grave.
Okay,
all
alright.
We got it, we got it.
All right. Like this, Susato doesn't need to lose any more people important to her.
Oh, baby, look at this. Look at this title
Oh my
card.
goodness!
Oh,
Are we
it's
gonna play
so
as Susato?
good. The Blossoming Attorney.
I'm so excited.
Her
We get
teeth.
to play as her.
August, 8:26 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Defendant's Antechamber 3.
Here I am again after 9 months. The Supreme Court of Judicature of Japan. I feel so nervous, but I must steel my nerves and find a way to compose myself.
Actually been accused of the murder, almost certainly. That's the only reason I could see for her representing or for her being a lawyer in this way. You know, this is definitely like. Listen, this is.
Is she representing herself?
Yeah, I was gonna say this is a rite of passage for lawyers at this point. Oh, you're still
Hey.
on. Ah, good you're here. It doesn't do for a lawyer to be late.
Oh, yes, good morning, sir.
Or her dad was accused. I think her dad is a lawyer, isn't he? Or something like that. I hardly recognize you. You cut a fine figure to counsel. Or maybe not actually. I guess if he was a
Doesn't
lawyer,
work
he
for,
would
like,
defend her,
university or
right?
something?
Yeah, he's like
Yeah.
a university professor. But you look as white as a sheet, and those wide eyes aren't doing you any favors either.
Oh dear. The truth is, I'm so incredibly nervous. I feel utterly nauseated.
I'm gonna be so upset if they give us another tutorial. They probably will.
I almost wish that I'd never been born.
Goodness, but the sort of thing a father hopes to hear from his daughter, I must say. Oh, he's a
Eugene
professor. of
Nikigoba,
medicine.
professor of medicine at the Imperial Yume University. A man who, earlier in his life, traveled to Great Britain to study the latest advances in forensic medical science. And of course, my brilliant father.
Excuse me.
Hey girl.
Hey. Would I be correct in thinking that you were to be my lawyer in court today?
Okay, it's not us. We're not
Alright.
the defendant.
Alright, we didn't do shit, thank God. Woo!
Oh, yes. Yes, that's right, miss.
Well, I want to thank you for agreeing to represent me. I swear on my life. It's a complete fabrication, this whole thing.
Rei Membami, born the same year as I, and my greatest friend.
A first in the franchise, yeah.
Though unusual for a woman in our time, she works at the University Research Laboratory, helping my father. And sadly, she's the defendant in today's trial. Accused of committing a truly awful murder. Are you feeling all right? Since we started talking, you seem, well, to have become a little flushed.
Oh my, it's just that you look so gallant and dashing.
Let's
Lesbianism.
go.
Sorry?
And when I fall under your intense gaze, it makes me feel rather bashful.
Let us begin.
Goodness, I don't think she knows. She hasn't realized who I am.
Wait, what? But she's
What?
your best friend.
It would seem our little plan for this trial is going to work. Oh, what?
Oh no.
What do you mean, Professor Mikotoba?
Wait, Susato isn't allowed to be a lawyer, right? Because she's a woman.
Oh, right. If even your best friend can't see through the disguise, I think we can relax.
I don't think that this is a good idea.
Disguise?
Yes, I've never tried dressing this way before, of course, so I wasn't sure how convincing it would be.
I don't think that this is a valid defense. The trial.
Why was this the idea you had?
Hire an actual lawyer. Maybe
Bro.
they couldn't get one for her. But
Bro, maybe there's no lawyers in this country. I think we took the only two with us and one of them died.
But this does make me feel a little relieved, as you say, Father.
Father? Ah! Is that you, Susato?
I'm so sorry I didn't say something sooner, Ray.
No! What are you doing? What's going on? What? Can I have my Dokis back? That varsity uniform, that varsity cap, that varsity cape, that varsity badge. Look at you. You look for all the world just like a student of the Imperial Yume University. A male student.
I'm so glad you think so. It means all my preparations have been worthwhile. I woke at 4 this morning to make a start.
But I don't understand. Why are you dressed like that?
Well, you see...
It was the only way. The only way she would be permitted to the Supreme Court to take your defense in this trial. My defense?
Bro, she's still not permitted. None of this is valid.
It's completely illegal.
Never before in my life have I felt so frustrated at having been born into this body. Courts in Japan are barred to women. We're not even allowed to set foot inside the courtroom. Despite the fact that the laws of the land apply to all people, male and female alike.
Yeah, we got some problems here in the old Empire of Japan. But women are forbidden. I'm forbidden from setting foot in the courtroom. They won't even let me be there for my own trial.
Just for today, I'll be leaving my true self at the courtroom door, so that I can act as your lawyer.
Bro, they'll let anyone be a lawyer in this fucking country. Oh, Susato, you'd go to such lengths for me?
Of course, you're my greatest friend. I just worry that I shan't be the lawyer you deserve.
Oh no, I have complete faith in you.
Ray.
It's so strange, though. I mean, you're such an accomplished judicial assistant already, and yet just because you're a woman, what a wretched reason. I mean, why shouldn't you be allowed in the court? You're so gallant and dashing.
Her face cracks me up.
Ray. Please don't look at me like that, with those flushed cheeks and doting eyes.
This is the start of a fan fiction. Oh, I'm sorry. It's just you really do look so dashing.
Yes, you mentioned that once or twice.
You should be pleased. It means you look convincing as a man.
I am pleased, I think. It certainly helped to bolster my confidence today. Ray, you're managing to put on a brave face in all this, but I can see through it. I've noticed how your shoulders are slumped and how you're trembling ever so slightly.
Susato, you do believe me, don't you? I didn't do it. I couldn't have. I mean, murder?
Of course. You have nothing to worry about. Your conscience is perfectly clean. Isn't that right?
Yes. Yes, it is. Perfectly clean.
I have absolutely no doubt in my mind about your innocence. Which is why I'll stand by you until the bitter end in this trial. Whatever happens, I'll always be on your side. Because that's what it means to be a defense lawyer.
Man, freaking Kazuma defending him best friend, and
Yeah.
then now Susato defending her best friend.
Man, there's not a straight person in all of Japan. God damn. It means so much to me, Susato. Defendant, counsel. Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. You should go in at once, Ray. If you're late, the judge won't hesitate to pronounce you guilty. Oh. Stand aside!
I don't think I've ever seen her run so fast.
Well, Susato, you've certainly surprised your father. Going to such lengths to be admitted into the courtroom, and with no prior experience of being a lawyer. I mean, she was a better lawyer than we were, so...
There was simply no other way. That's all there is to it. But Father, you haven't told her, have you? I mean, I'm right in assuming Ray doesn't know how it came to this?
Yes, quite right. I've kept that information from her. It would only worry her if she found out that no other lawyer would agree to take her case.
Oh, well,
I mean,
there
there's no other way, right?
Yeah.
I didn't want to burden her with that.
And is it true, the reason why every other lawyer is refusing to take the case? Is it really because of who the victim was?
We should be making a move now, too. As you know, law isn't my field, but I'll do what I can to support my student.
Thank you, Father.
Is he going to be our assistant?
Imagine going to court and your dad is your judicial assistant.
I'm Susato Mikodoba, a judicial assistant. 8 months ago, I accompanied a student of law on a study trip to Great Britain. But 2 months ago, due to unforeseen circumstances, I found myself back in Japan. How many times have I wished that you were here, I wonder? Still, I have no choice now but to steel myself for the trial ahead.
I cannot wait to see Mikotoba in...
I'm
in
so
legal
excited. She's gonna be dashing.
form. So gallant.
Wish me luck, Naruhodo-san.
Show it to me.
Give it. Hand it over.
13th August, 9 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicial. Courtroom 1.
Oh, look at her! She looks like a Shin Megami Tensei protagonist.
Let us go. This court is now in session to hear the trial of Rei Membami.
The prosecution is fully ready to proceed, Your Excellency.
Oh my god,
Look
I
at
love
her!
What an icon!
Oh, so good.
Defense counsel, are you ready?
Yes, Your Excellency. We are ready.
Ready.
Wow. you look just like Ryunosuke.
Ah, yes, counsel. According to your registration details, your name is, Ryutaro Naruhodo. Is that correct? Ryutaro! Sorry?
Oh, yes. I had to come up with a suitable male name for you for this little venture. So I'm afraid to say I simply put down the first name that sprung to mind.
What are you?
You're
This
very
is
lucky
gonna
I did
fall
not name
apart.
you Ryunosuke.
This is terrible. Well, counsel. Are you all aware that this is an official court of law?
Yes, that's right. That's me. Yes, I am Ryutaro, he who has vowed to uphold the pride of the great Naruhodo clan.
Ah.
It seems Ryutaro may need to consider how better to uphold his manly act first and not overdo it. And those wild, wide eyes aren't doing you any favors either. Just relax and listen.
Naruhodo? A fresh face in this courtroom, if I'm not mistaken. But the
Hi,
name
Magpie.
Naruhodo, would that perchance be?
You may be thinking of Ryunosuke Naruhodo, currently in Britain as part of a study program. This is...
Oh dear. His cousin.
That's right. Ryutaro here has been studying in the provinces, but was called to the capital for this trial. I assure you, in matters of law, his knowledge rivals that of any Tokyo's preeminent lawyers.
You picked an interesting time? Yeah, baby!
Any of them.
Tut, tut, tut. What a pitiful situation. Having been rejected by every lawyer in the capital, the accused has had to call in a country boy. How dare you! Susato is every bit as gallant and
Oh,
dashing
dear.
as any of your Tokyo.
Oh dear. It's already falling apart.
I won't have you making fun of her. Her? Oh,
Please be careful, Ray.
Tish. What an unrefined tomboy we have here. But I wonder, is your gallant and dashing lawyer up to the challenge of defending you? His wide, skittish eyes very much suggest that he is not.
I'm so nervous. Now that I'm standing in his shoes, I'm starting to understand what Naruhodo-san goes through.
Yeah.
Like it or not, eyes are wont to flit.
So cute.
The case to be heard on this day is a matter of great significance to our national interest. This is gonna be
This
terrible.
is gonna go so well.
In fact, it would be reasonable to assume that the outcome of this trial may well affect the very future of our empire.
Just like the trial 9 months ago. And yet for proceedings of such importance, we have this unknown yoku by the dock? Dear me.
Perhaps this would be an appropriate moment for me to assess the defense. To determine whether you are sufficiently competent to practice in this courtroom. Let's go, tutorial level!
I hope it's not as long as last game's tutorial. That game really hammered it home. 9 months ago, when a certain other Naruhodo stood where you're standing now. This same judge tested him as well. Sorry, I thought that was Susato for some reason. You can't just say Miko Toba and expect him to.
They're both Mikotoba.
And even though he was just a student at the time, not even of law, he passed the test with flying colors. The 3K tutorial, it really was. For a trained and experienced judicial assistant like you, this will be easy.
So, counsel, do you consent to answering some simple questions?
All right, it's time to prove myself.
Cute.
Yes, Your Excellency. But please do make them simple.
Very well. To start with, you will state the name of the victim.
Phew, that is simple. I couldn't forget that if I tried. Ah,
Oh
the matter?
no!
now that I'm standing in his shoes, I'm starting to understand something else Naruto-san goes through. Like it or not, minds are one to blink.
It's not surprising, really. It's your first time in this position, and in that guise. Even a bright spark like you is bound to flicker and falter a little under the circumstances. Especially because what you're doing is very, highly, super, very illegal.
Oh dear, this is a dismal failure.
Don't fret. You need only use the knowledge you've gained as a judicial assistant to overcome the problem.
Of course, the court record. Yes, the answer will be amongst all the key information about the case in the court record.
That's right. Just use E to open the
Oh my
court
God.
record.
We really are going through tutorial level.
Then you need to flip to the people section with E. And don't take too long over it. His Excellency is watching you closely.
All right, check the court record with E. That's where the information I need will be.
Oops. Giselle Brett, female, British. Time of death 11th August at around 2 p.m. Ascertained by examination. Witness statements. Cause of death, single deep stab wound from behind, piercing a lung, resulting in fatal hemorrhage. Death would have occurred within minutes. Extreme meiosis, pupil constriction, was observed in the victim in both eyes. And then we can look at the people. Yeah, she's super dead. 25 years old. Yeah, bro. I can't believe she came back after having been accused of, convicted of murder.
Yeah.
Wow. Alright.
I'm waiting, counsel. What is the name of the victim in this case?
Taketsuchi Aochi. It's definitely Mr. Aochi.
Definitely.
I wish.
That guy, Ben Sus. His hairstyle changed.
The name of the victim who lost her life in this case is Miss Giselle Brett.
Giselle Brett. A name that will never be forgotten in the courtrooms of our country, I'm sure.
I hope they explain why she's back and everything.
I hope
How
so.
she got back in. Correct.
It's a new game. They have to put tutorial on. Yeah, I mean that's true. This game released like a year or two after the other one. So even though
guess that's
it was
fair.
very clearly set up for a sequel, they still got to explain it in case for some reason you're like, I want to play Great Ace Attorney 2, but not 1.
And being a member of our empire's judiciary, you will be well aware of the significance of that name. So let me pose another simple question. As you know, Miss Brett was a visiting student from the great Empire of Britain. Why then is her name indelibly associated with our own empire's judicial history?
Obviously, you won't have forgotten that case from 9 months ago. It'd be really weird if you'd forgotten that case from 9 months ago. You didn't just open this game, the sequel to another game in a long line of games, and just expect to be able to play it, did you? Did you? But, I mean, I guess if it's proving hard to recall the finer points, everything you need is included in the court record.
It's been a year, Soupy!
Obviously, I still remember. That was the start of everything. Giselle Brett. Behind the woman's student persona was the face of...
Queen Victoria!
Wow, herself. Ooh. Take that,
Powerful.
Ryunosuke. She got a strong desk slam over here.
Yeah, she ain't got no weak noodle arms.
Yeah, a little slap.
9 months ago, a visiting professor of medicine at the Imperial Yume University was killed. And the culprit was Giselle Brett.
Yes, she was a killer. At the time, our country had just signed a new treaty with the Empire of Great Britain. It was in the midst of this delicate diplomatic situation that the incident occurred. An Englishman, Dr. John H. I think this is probably Mikoto Susato, but oh well. An Englishman, Dr. John H. Wilson, was shot
I
dead.
mean, they started it with him, so.
I believe he was... Oh, nope, there you go.
I believe he was an associate of yours, Professor Mikotoba?
Sapiens, Game 2, you're loving the series? Yeah, I'm... another Ace Attorney game I've never played before. There's very few of those. I've never played this game, and I've never played Ace Attorney Investigations 2, because that one never got translated. Or formally translated, so I'm excited. I'm excited also because, like, Game 1 set up so much, like, stuff for Game 2 to, like, go into. You just realize the crime taking place in this scene, yeah.
Yes, I was indebted to the man. He'd been my mentor when I went to London to study forensic medicine.
Oh, God.
Indeed, it was I who invited him here to Japan as a visiting professor at the university. Naturally, the murder of an Englishman on our soil was a matter the government wished to resolve rapidly. Good thing it was another Englishman who did that.
Indeed it was, which was why a secret trial was conducted here at the Supreme Court. A student of the Imperial Yume University was arrested on suspicion of murder. A second-year English language student by the name of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. With the help of his best friend, a student lawyer, the accused conducted his own defense.
This recap is here for if you did not play the first game.
Well, no, because it's been a year, Soupy!
Okay, it has been a year.
And exposed the despicable crime committed by Miss Giselle Brett.
It's just extremely funny when you play them back to back.
Yeah.
That was a secret child? Yeah, it was a secret child.
Miss Brett eventually admitted to her crime.
We also, I'm pretty sure, never got the motive behind that crime, so... Oh, okay, alright, there you go.
However, when questioned about the motive that drove her to take Dr. Wilson's life,
I guess we're going to acknowledge it now.
she gave no satisfactory answer before the trial reached its conclusion.
Immediately after the trial, the British government brought its consular jurisdiction into play. We were unable to sentence Miss Brett according to our empire's laws. It was decided that she would be removed to Shanghai, China, instead.
Why Shanghai?
There's a British consular court there. You know, colonialism and stuff.
Huh? Correct. I oversaw the negotiations personally. The date of her transfer to Shanghai was finally settled upon only last week.
Bro, what?
That took
Okay,
so
she's been here
long.
in Japan this whole time?
Wait, it's like seriously? She's just been here for the last 9 months?
The law
My god, no wonder
is
she got murked.
slow. All that remained of our empire's obligations was to see the woman safely on board a steamship. Well,
And yet, the very day before her departure, the Englishwoman was killed.
Only the day before?
Damn, that's kind of fucked up.
mhm.
I know she was like a bad murder person, but like, damn.
That will do. I'm satisfied that the counsel for the defense is sufficiently capable of representing the defendant.
Honestly, the smartest people in the attorney series are the people who just like never show up to court. They're like, I don't want to come, because that's how they get you.
Communicating between continents is slow. I guess that's true.
I mean, that's true, but they established that they had like that they had like telegrams and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's also true. But it's only just now catching on, right?
Oh, thank you, Your Excellency. Over the first hurdle.
I think that was a lot faster than Ryunosuke.
Yeah. Now, a summary of the incident, if you please. Prosecutor Aochi.
As is your wish, Your Excellency.
This guy.
This guy. The repugnant crime took place on the 11th August in broad daylight. On the outskirts of the imperial capital, under a bright blue sky, at a secluded bathing spot by the sea.
Why was she allowed here?
Wow.
The incident occurred inside a small beach hut erected for bathers to rest or change their clothes. The cause of death was a single stab wound to the posterior abdomen that pierced the victim's lung, an injury which proved fatal. There were 2 persons alone together in the beach hut at the time of the victim's death, Miss Brett in her bathing attire, and the accused, Rei Membami. Accordingly, there can be no doubt of the accused's guilt, especially when we consider she had a powerful motive. The police arrived rapidly at the scene and promptly arrested the young lady.
That was bathing attire. You know what? It is like it's like 1900.
That extraordinary description of events leaves me somewhat lost for words, I must say.
That's certainly true. The prosecution's summary was full of words that raise an awful lot of questions. As a lawyer, I really ought to pick up the prosecution counsel on what he said about.
Well, I mean, probably the motive, right?
You're clearly exaggerating. Powerful motive is a blatant overstatement.
Tut, tut, tut. Is the yokel boy using long words he doesn't fully understand?
I beg your pardon?
No matter. Let us put this to the accused, shall we? Membami-san, you are a research assistant at the Imperial Yume University, I believe.
Yes, I am. I'm working with Professor Mikotoba in his laboratory at the moment. I can confirm that. The defendant is an excellent assistant with a strong sense of responsibility.
Fascinating to hear. Now, another question. Prior to your work with Professor Mikotoba, whose research were you assisting then? Oh, I was studying under John H. Whistlin.
Dr. Wilson! The visiting English professor who was murdered by Miss Brett 9 months ago?
Oh, damn, that does actually seem like kind of a murder, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty big.
The accused had a deep-seated respect for her former mentor, Dr. Wilson. Is that not true?
Yes, Dr. Wilson was a wonderful man.
Interesting. Then tell the court what deep-seated feelings you had towards the English woman who killed him.
Well, obviously I was filled with hatred for what she'd done. A powerful hatred.
Oh no, Ray! Be careful of what you're saying.
In fact, if we were alone together, I would have stabbed her. Really hard, with a knife. Preferably from behind, into the lungs, so that she dies of a deep hemorrhage.
Right! And her little swan, too.
The motive was revenge. Plain and simple, Your Excellency.
Well, it was clearly a trap all along.
How wicked of him to use Ray's undying respect for her former mentor against her like that. I must find out more details, and something we can use to bolster our defense. As a lawyer, I really ought to pick up the prosecution counsel on what he's sad about.
The bathing spot.
If I may, Prosecutor Aochi.
What do you want, you fresh-faced young yokel student?
I wonder, could you explain, please? You mentioned a bathing spot.
My apologies. Clearly my modernity has confused the poor country bumpkin's simple mind.
Oh, dear.
Bathing spots are the very latest trend in health practices from the West. We are told that bathing in the water of the ocean is curative, therapeutic, and excellent for the skins.
No, that's not what I meant. I was referring to the fact that Miss Brett had, to all intents and purposes, been found guilty of murder.
I mean, yeah, right?
All right, here we go. You can address it.
Why would a known criminal have been relaxing by the sea?
For old time's sake, I believe.
Sorry?
Miss Brett was to depart for Shanghai the following day. Her final wish, as it were, was to enjoy a day at our country's wonderful coast. And the British Embassy put extreme pressure on our government to comply.
Wow.
Wow. So it was the government all along.
But on what grounds would we agree to such a request?
Because, as usual, our government is unable to stand up to foreign powers. In matters of diplomacy, it seems we don't even have the courage to decline the whims of a known criminal.
Well,
Look at me, Professor. It was the government who granted permission, not I. In any case, it was decided that with a dedicated detective on duty, nothing could go wrong.
nothing.
But in fact, a murder took place.
Yeah. I was
Nothing
gonna
could
say,
go wrong.
They were alone. Where did the fucking detective go?
I said don't look at me. It was that young student girl who did it, not I.
No one has proved that yet.
I wouldn't provoke the man if you don't need to. Look at him, he's already so pathetic. He doesn't have anything left.
At this stage, I need to gather more information, I think. Excuse me, Membami-san.
Yes? What is it, Susa? Ah! I mean,
Oh my god.
Naruhodo-san?
I'm really starting to wish we'd made my alias Ryotaro Susato. Please tell the court why exactly you were present at the bathing spot with the victim in the first place. And why you were alone with her.
Oh, well, no, that's not true. It wasn't like that at all. There were other people present. A detective who was guarding Miss Brett for starters. I was just asked to accompany Miss Brett as a companion, that's all. That seems sus as fuck. But let us be clear. At the moment of her death, you were alone together with the victim in the hut. You and no one else. The truth is, there is only one reason why this young woman accompanied Miss Brett on her bathing sojourn. It was the accused's last chance to take the victim's life. No. Because, as we know, the following day would see Miss Brett extradited to the British authorities in Shanghai. And the accused would never have an opportunity to dispatch her again.
Kindly refrain from conjecture, Counsel.
Ooh, she's spicy.
Tish, ha ha.
I believe we all have a clear picture of the incident now.
Despite her guilt being determined 9 months ago, Miss Brett managed to avoid incarceration, instead continuing her research work at the university. Why?
Wow. Even though she was researching a poison at one point.
Obviously, over that period, she and Ray would have encountered each other on a number of occasions.
Seeing the murderer of the mentor for whom she had such great respect, enjoying such undeserved liberty.
I mean, to be fair, like, just imagine for a second, like, like, imagine just allowing a criminal to roam free. Not even just because, like, they could murder somebody else, like they've been found guilty of a murder, but just like anybody could murder that person. Diplomatic immunity sure is something. Oh boy, let me tell you, when we get to the Ace Attorney investigation games. Yeah, anyway.
Yes, even if it was only temporary until Miss Brett's extradition to Shanghai. You can hardly blame Ray for her feelings of anger and resentment.
I mean, we all feel angry and resentful.
Poor Ray.
So, Your Excellency, if you'd be so kind as to peruse this exhibit, a photographic print that shows the scene of the crime immediately following the grim incident.
Yeah, that definitely looks like a murder.
Well. Yes, thank you, Counsel. A tragic image.
As you can clearly see, there is nowhere within the hut that anyone else could have hidden.
The poor swan,
Will-
right?
The court will accept this photographic print as evidence.
The swan had to go. It had to be put
What
down.
if it's alive? It's not like the swan got stabbed.
It's just playing dead in sympathy.
Yeah, right. As I understand it then, the victim and the defendant were alone inside the beach hut at the time.
Let's take a look at the picture. Yeah, the swan is fine. It's just lying there. Just having a nap.
Just sleeping.
All right, when do we cross-examine the swan?
Let's go. This is deeply troubling, I must say. The finger of guilt points firmly at the defendant.
Well, Your Excellency, naturally the prosecution has much more to its case. We intend to prove the accused's appalling actions beyond all possible contention. To that end, I can confirm that we have multiple witnesses to the crime and damning evidence.
Oh, witnesses? But who?
One of whom I might add is a highly respected police detective. I assure you the testimony of these witnesses will leave no room for doubt.
How are there witnesses they were alone? It's always like this. They're always like, they were alone. But check out all these witnesses we found.
Very well then, counsel. Bring forth your witnesses.
It's also always like they were alone, but I saw the scene of the crime. I saw the murder happen with my own two eyes, and you spend like an entire like 2 cross-examination segments just being like, you didn't see the murder. You're lying.
That's what happened in the carriage, right? The carriage case.
Literally,
They were
it
alone
happens
in
like
the
at
carriage.
least twice a game.
Mhm.
I, Takatsuchi Aochi, have been waiting for this moment.
Sorry?
Oh yes, I haven't forgotten that trial 9 months ago, here in this very courthouse. When that irreverent little student boy utterly humiliated me.
Look at him. He was such an honorable man.
Oh.
Ah! Ryunosuke Naruhodo!
What? Yes?
This insult to the Aochi family name will never be forgotten!
You've become conceited with age, Council. But the old have to stand aside and make way for the new. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that.
I fucking love Kazuma.
He's great. An icon. That's why his hair never changed back. It's just been like that.
Strike the head of a samurai whose top knot has been cut, and the bell of cultural enlightenment tolls. Yes, on that fateful day, my former self died.
The start of your own mini Meiji revolution. Are you modernizing as well, Council?
Bro.
Silence! Since I swore revenge back then, there has been a minor miracle atop my head. Observe the Aochi growth! You see?
Yep.
You see the
Yep.
seed of hope sprouting forth from the barren expanse of my crown?
I think that tiny growth is trying to tell me something.
I'm afraid I can't really see. Where is the hope exactly?
I said silence! Today, I face another yokel student of the Naruhodo clan. Well, I will vanquish you! And my victory will be fertilizer for the seed of hope atop my head. You have been warned. With that, the prosecution calls the witnesses to the stand.
It looks like the stakes are high on both sides in this trial. Lol. The prosecution and defense each has much to lose.
A haircut is hardly comparable to Ray's life.
Look at him, Susato. That's all he has left.
The man has nothing else.
He's a shamble of a man. Oh my god. Oh my god!
The world is indeed small.
Witnesses, please state your names and occupations for the court.
Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga, Imperial Police Bureau. I'm in disguise, obviously, so I can go undetected.
Love him.
Look at the little turtle.
I love him.
And I am, well,
The next big thing in books, an author renowned throughout the capital. In fact, yes, soon to be sold out the satirical I Am a Cat, a sensational success by Soseki Natsume.
Oh my goodness.
Struggling student from the provinces, please, you needn't be in awe of me.
I needn't?
Hosonaga equals love. Yes, I agree. I'm so sad that he never came back after the ship case in the first game.
Yeah, right? Me too.
It's only natural that you'd feel nervous in my presence, but all of you, please relax. Call me Soseki even.
Yes. What on earth is Soseki-san doing here?
We would all like to
Shrek.
know.
Right?
Tread carefully, Susato. That author fellow knows you from your time in London, doesn't he?
Oh,
If he exposes you for who you really are, this will be over before it's begun.
Yes, yes, of course, I know. I presume Soseki-san won't have forgotten about me. I could certainly never forget him. Although he does seem to have changed somewhat in the 6 months or so that it's been since I last saw him. As for Inspector Hosonaga, that amazing outfit is hard to believe.
Do I have something on my face?
Well, your glasses for one, although they don't seem to be helping, you see. Thank goodness he hasn't recognized me either.
Oh, I suppose it's this disguise, is it? I thought that appearing here in the clothes I was wearing at the time would make for a more faithful testimony. It is my guiding principle to carry out all testimonies flawlessly.
You hope he's feeling better? Yeah, I hope he got over his tuberculosis.
Well, I can appreciate why an Imperial Police Bureau detective might have been present. But what business did a writer such as yourself have being at the scene, Soseki-san?
Ah, well, you see, I had been asked that day to give a lecture on the morning of the incident in the Imperial Yume University's Grand Lecture Hall, no less.
At Yume University?
After the lecture, I had a very pleasant conversation with a researcher from the medical science department. The professor over there, in fact.
With Professor Mikotoba?
Yes, that's right. It was arranged by one of the newspapers. They wanted some story or other about two former students who studied in Great Britain.
Of course, being a renowned author, the press never leave me alone. They secretly spy, snap shots, scribble stories, and scupper my privacy. As you can see, the conversation was written up in this newspaper here. Read it at your leisure, my provincial struggling student friend. I have plenty of copies.
I'm glad he's doing better. You know, he was miserable.
He doesn't live in a windowless hut.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. He practically threw that paper at me.
Soseki Natsume article has been entered in the court record. Anyway, following my interview with the professor, the lady in question appeared and made a very unexpected announcement. I should like to go with everyone to see your country's coast. Those were her words.
As I explained before, Miss Brett was never taken into custody. She continued to work in my laboratory, under strict surveillance, of course.
At which utterance, the university immediately contacted the government to seek guidance, and the response was, permit Miss Brett to go as long as a detective accompanies her.
That detective I'm at liberty to divulge. That detective I'm at liberty to divulge was me, Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga.
Thereby, the entire party departed cordially for the seaside, it seems.
It was extremely challenging to clear all other members of the public from the vicinity of the beach.
Oh, nope, he still got that TB.
Oh no.
But fortunately, I am at peak physical fitness at the moment, so
What?
I was able to carry out my duty flawlessly.
Oh my! Inspector, you... Well, you do have something on your face now.
Ah, how unsightly. I do apologize.
Does that mean that you went to the beach too, Father?
No. Fortunately, I had work to finish off. But unfortunately, of course, it meant that as my assistant, Ray was invited to take my place.
Of course, being a renowned author, I didn't like to decline the invitation.
Oh, but if only I had, I'd never have seen that awful sight. Relentlessly racked by remorse and regret.
Cute.
Very well. I must now ask you to present your formal testimony to the court. You will give an account of all that you witnessed on your impromptu excursion to the coast.
Of course, Your Excellency. Relentlessly racked by remorse and regret, I am.
Soseki standing next to the dude. I mean, we don't exactly know what's wrong with Inspector Hosonaga, but he's obviously at peak physical condition, so.
Yeah.
On the day of the incident, I was ordered on a special surveillance assignment in this disguise.
I had just managed to catch that crab when I suddenly heard a caterwaul from behind me.
I ran into the beach hut at once, where I found the pair in question.
Yes! That young girl was astride the Englishwoman, dagger in hand, as she stabbed wildly.
I saw blood on the blade. It proved to me that she'd stabbed the victim multiple times.
There's only one stab wound, my guy.
Indeed, it does appear from this testimony that both witnesses here present saw it. The very moment of this heinous crime.
Of course.
What?
Now, if you will recall, I promised evidence as well. What phrase did I use again? Ah, yes, that was it. Damning evidence.
What have you there, Counsel? A so-called fountain pen, is it?
If it's lasting 9+ months, it sure isn't allergies. It's true. Maybe it's just extreme asthma.
Correct, Your Excellency. I found it at the scene whilst examining the body. It appears that in her dying moments, with her final ounce of strength, the victim clutched a piece of evidence that would positively identify her killer. Oh boy.
It's always this song and dance.
What?
Your Excellency, if you would cast your eyes over to the photographic print of the crime scene once more.
Goodness me! Yes, the victim is clearly grasping something quite deliberately there in her hand.
That's right, the fountain pen. And if you would kindly examine the pen, Your Excellency.
Ah! The owner's initials have been engraved into the ebonite barrel. R.M. Ray Membami.
She wrote her killer's name in Esperanto. This would make no sense whatsoever. Why would it be engraved RM? We're in Japan.
The initials of the defendant.
RM! That must be Membami Ray! Wait a minute.
No!
Bro, she took a physical attack.
Yeah. This fountain pen will be admitted immediately as critical evidence.
Fountain pen has been entered into the court record. So, have I omitted anything? Decisive testimony, damning evidence. There's a bright blue sky outside the courthouse. Outside the courthouse today. Perfect weather to ascribe guilt, I feel.
I don't understand. The prosecutor Aochi of 9 months ago had none of this man's poise.
There's no time to be impressed, Chisato.
Yeah.
Counsel for the defense. You may begin your cross-examination now. Naruhodo-san.
Naruhodo. That means... Oh yes, me!
Is there another Naruhodo in my courtroom?
Actually, there isn't even a single Naruhodo in your courtroom.
Cousin Ryutaro, pull yourself together, please.
All right. I've seen this countless times as a judicial assistant. Find inconsistencies in the witnesses' testimonies to prove that they're lying somehow. That's all there is to it. That's how a real lawyer would handle a cross-examination. So let's see what I can do. You can do it. You're great.
Nice. I believe in you.
Yeah.
Okay, before we do that, let's examine some of our evidence here. Oh my god, look
Ah,
at this guy.
it's such a cute picture.
Cute. Oh, okay. Alright. We can't examine anything closer yet. Cool. She'd stabbed the victim multiple times. A single wound.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Hello. Excuse me. That's Cynthia. Oh, cute.
With that accusatory cry that just welled up from deep inside me, I think I finally understand.
It also her objection came out so much faster. It took so long.
Every time Kazuma-sama and Naruhodo-san have stood here at this bench, the stakes have been very, very high indeed.
What's the meaning of that menacing pose, Counsel?
I'd like the witness to clarify something for me.
Who? What? Where? When? Whoa!
Not you, Soseki-san. The query is directed at Inspector Hosonaga.
That me?
In your statement just now, you said that the victim was stabbed multiple times.
Yes, that's right. As I said, when I entered the hut, the defendant was already standing over the victim, bloody knife in hand like a murderous demon.
And yet, that cannot be.
What?
Get to the point, please, counsel.
In the post-mortem report, it clearly states that the victim was stabbed one time only.
Don't make him die faster, girl.
In other words, Inspector Hosonaga's testimony is clearly flawed.
Ah,
And Soseki-san,
Me?
Oh dear.
you claim to have seen Membami-san in the throes of stabbing the victim.
Yes. Yes, I did. Wildly.
But both you and the inspector confirmed the same point. That there was already blood on the knife that you saw the defendant holding.
yes, and
It's quite simple. We know the murder weapon was used to stab the victim only once. Therefore, there is no way there could have been blood on the knife if that single stabbing hadn't already occurred.
Yeah, you tell him.
True.
Then what exactly is your contention, counsel? Are you ever going to tell us?
Yes, Your Excellency. There's only one logical conclusion. What Soseki-san in fact saw was not the moment that the defendant stabbed the victim at all, but the moment that the defendant in fact withdrew the blade from the victim's body.
True.
that can't be. Excellent work, Susato. You exploded at them with that objection, and then proceeded to pull them apart systematically.
Tish, haha. Well, this takes me back. Yes, I seem to remember your cousin staged a scene much like this in that trial 9 months ago. A half-witted child with a half-baked objection attempting to steal the show.
You're right, there were certain similarities. Except that so-called half-witted child managed to outwit the prosecution, who has only half a head of hair.
Slander! My hair is adequately dressed! In any case, all this talk of stabbing and withdrawing and multiple wounds, it makes not a jot of difference.
I'm really curious what his hair will look like after this trial.
Oh my god.
I feel like it'll change
Oh,
again.
he's gonna go bald. Completely. It's all gonna like vaporize away when she like hits him with that objection.
What? Why not?
Engage your brain, young man. When the accused first plunged the deadly weapon into the victim, that was the fatal blow. And it was that moment, just as she had withdrawn the blade ready for her next strike, that the witnesses saw. That knife was already tainted with blood because the accused had already stabbed the victim.
Ah,
All you have successfully shown with your little display is that the mustached author is prone to moments of extravagance.
ah.
I am in agreement with the prosecution. If the defendant was seen wielding the blade at all, that is sufficient grounds for her actions to be viewed with suspicion.
But if she was withdrawing the blade,
Then we are back where we started.
sorry?
Consider this, young yokel boy. If the student girl is innocent as you claim, then why would she have pulled the blade from the victim? And with a demon's cold-blooded composure, too. The prosecution demands an explanation, and it had better be good.
Why did Ray pull out the knife?
Yes, going for the jugular.
Huh? What does Father mean by that?
Let the court hear your answer then, counsel.
The truth is, I don't really know. But I have to come up with a plausible reason here, or we don't have a case.
Oh, you know what that means?
Haha. The reason why the defendant pulled the knife blade out of the victim's body was surely so she could
Save her life.
save her
probably.
life. According to the post-mortem report, the victim's death was not instant.
That's correct. It's thought she would have remained conscious for a short while after sustaining the injury.
Indeed, giving her the time to take hold of this piece of evidence that clearly indicates her killer.
The point is, being a medical research assistant, Membami-san was compelled to act when faced with a wounded victim. Instinctively, she pulled the blade out in an attempt to save Miss Brett's life.
Tish, haha, did you hear that, Your Excellency? It would seem that this is the best we can expect of this young yokel.
Indeed.
Is it just me? Or does it suddenly feel much colder in here?
Your Excellency, if I may.
Speak, witness.
I would like another opportunity to testify in respect to the slipshod assertion just put forward by the Yokel Defense Counsel.
Wow, now he's calling us yokel too.
Rude.
Slipshod?
Tish, haha. An excellent idea, Inspector. Our young yokel hopeful has a modicum of knowledge when it comes to the law, it seems. But in matters of medicine, he appears to possess not one iota of common sense.
Very well, Inspector. I will permit your request. You will testify again before the court on the subject of the defense counsel's assertion.
Yes, sir, I will do so flawlessly. Pulling a blade from a wound without thinking could cause heavy bleeding. That's basic knowledge that any medical research assistant with an ounce of sense ought to know. In other words, there's no good reason why the defendant would have tried to pull the knife from the victim. Let's not forget that the young student did have a motive for killing the victim. The man the victim murdered 9 months ago, Dr. Wilson, was the defendant's highly respected mentor.
Is what you just said true, Inspector? Could pulling a knife from a wound really cause the wound to bleed heavily?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, think of the weapon itself as a stopper in the wound that prevents excessive blood loss. Until a doctor is ready to provide proper treatment, that stopper shouldn't be removed.
I mean, she was basically a doctor, right?
Oh, I see.
Ha! This is why yokels should stay on the farm. Even a quack from some obscure mountain village would have such basic knowledge. Anyone who's ever given someone a poke with a knife and pulled it out again knows it. Who does that?
Oh, well, I've never stabbed anyone, you see, like you, apparently. Or pulled a blade out of a wound, so...
Of course you haven't. I didn't bring you up to behave like a bandit.
Father, is it true what they're telling me?
Who goes around stabbing people? Yeah, right?
I mask.
just as a you know, like a
Greeting.
hello stab. How you doing, poke?
Yes, it's basic remedial knowledge for medics. Ray would have been well aware of it. If she were to claim ignorance of such fundamentals, it would prove fatal in many ways.
But then, why would Ray have done it? Could she have pulled out that knife in full knowledge that it would be fatal for Miss Brett?
I'm just having a thought, but did she murder her?
I don't know.
Ray never once mentioned anything about the knife to me. It seems almost impossible to believe, but... could my friend actually have...
Susato,
Yes?
pull yourself together. We mustn't lose sight of why we're here.
Ah,
Counsel, it's time for your cross-examination.
oh! Yes, Your Excellency.
However, I must warn you that if your cross-examination fails to identify any issue with the established facts, I will be moving to my adjudication immediately afterwards.
And just so you are aware, we do not have jury summation examinations in this country.
Dang it.
I understand.
My trump card.
Believing in your clients and fighting for their cause until the bitter end. I knew it would be hard, but I had no idea it would be this hard.
Well. You're so cute.
You say doing it without thinking could be a problem. Does that mean that if you use due care and attention, it would be all right?
I wouldn't have thought this needed spelling out,
The
really.
turtle!
Look at it! Bobble.
The blade is like a stopper in the wound. Remove it and a serious hemorrhage will occur. In other words, a medic would need to be present before any attempt was made to withdraw the blade.
Wasn't she kind of a medic?
Right, she's trained in medicine and...
Doing it without thinking would be madness. You just can't do it.
Oh, well, thank you for such a thorough explanation.
You see, Council, when you act without thinking, the result is a bloodbath.
Ah.
Back to the witness testimony, please.
In that case, there's an obvious explanation here.
Which is?
Clearly, the defendant, Rei Membami-san, does not possess an ounce of sense.
I don't. That's not what I would pursue. What do you think about that, Professor Mikotoba?
Oh dear.
I'm not sure that you should be labeling your best friend as lacking in common sense.
Well, I thought it would be better than labeling her as a murderer.
I don't know, young people today. If that's friendship, I don't understand it.
Careful, Counsel. A lack of common sense can be a very dangerous thing. Oh my goodness gracious.
Right?
Oh dear, that recoiled on me rather badly.
That's life, I'm afraid. A lesson everyone must learn. Hopefully you can see now that this is really basic medical knowledge. Being involved in medical research, Mommy-san would certainly have been aware of it.
But the defendant had suddenly encountered somebody she knew lying on the ground, bleeding to death. The sight could have shocked her delicate sensibilities, causing her to remove the blade inadvertently.
I really don't think inadvertent actions can explain this. The woman is a medical research assistant. I can't imagine she would behave so irrationally.
Oh, but irrational behavior is a woman's prerogative, isn't it?
Oh dear, we have a lot to learn about women. Only a small-minded man could have such bigoted
Let's
views.
go! We stand
Oh.
Hosonaga-san!
Oh no, he's a woman respecter.
Oh dear, perhaps I'm letting my male persona take hold a little too much.
Well, have I managed to convey the basics now? That should cover the medical side of the argument.
Whatever the motive, it just isn't in Membami-san's nature to do something so awful.
But she had both motive and opportunity. That's very hard to argue against.
But you don't know the defendant.
Yari. And you, Counsel, do not appear to know the law.
Yes, the evidence is the only way to convince the court of your argument, not feelings.
With this fledgling to defend her, I would almost say I pity the accused.
So do I.
Inspector, you will reiterate your point about the defendant's motive, please.
May you ask why Hosonaga is dying? It's been a game and a little bit, one entire video game and a little bit, and we do not have an answer for you. Unfortunately, we don't know. Ah yes, Miss Brett was in many ways the sworn enemy of Membami-san.
Well, yes, that's true. Dr. Wilson recognized Membami-san's talent and offered her the position of assistant, despite her being a woman. She was extremely grateful to him.
Yes, the Englishman appears to have been a very broad-minded individual. Dr. Wilson had no time for outdated traditions. He met with opposition, of course, but he believed firmly in Mimbami-san's abilities. Clearly the defendant was in the man's debt, which only serves to prove my point.
This is hopeless. I can't find a single crack in this testimony anywhere. If Ray knew that withdrawing the knife from the wound would threaten Miss Brett's life further. I just can't think of any way to explain why she did it.
Susato, it's at times like these when it's especially important to remember the fundamentals.
The fundamentals?
Evidence is what counts in the courtroom, isn't it?
Of course. But I've been through the court record dozens of times already.
I think perhaps you're forgetting something, though. You needn't take the evidence at face value. You can and must examine it in greater detail, too. Okay, here we go.
Here we go. It took us this long to learn how to examine evidence.
Yep.
Ah,
I realize this is your first time playing the role of lawyer in the courtroom, so if you need reminding of the rudiments, you need only ask. I'll do my very best to help.
examine the evidence in the court record. It's an idea, certainly. What should I do?
Oh, thank God.
Good Lord, have mercy.
Come to think of it, Kazuma-sama and Naruhodo-san were always turning evidence over and over in their hands. Yes, I need to examine things in greater detail with space.
We're still just gonna go through it. huh?
Finally. By the look in your eyes, I see it's coming back to you. I'm so glad they let you skip this.
Oh my God, dude.
Go through the court record again and have a thorough look at everything. You may just find a clue.
Yes, I'll do it straight away.
Let's see. This is fine. There we go.
Raucous England returnees tell all. This is the interview with you and Soseki-san, is it, Father?
Oh, look at the 2D rendering of her in the outfit. She's actually very gallant, very handsome.
So dashing.
It looks as though it's quite an exchange.
Yes, he became a little over-animated when he was talking about his time in England. The photographer managed to capture the moment his hand karate chopped me in the neck. Ugh.
I do hope you weren't hurt.
This is the newspaper from Soseki-san. There seems to be an important article on the back page as well. Exclusive. Deadly poison stolen from Yume Medical Research Laboratory.
This is why
So
you shouldn't
is
have let her
poison.
continue researching. You knew she was researching poisons. Oh my God.
From Yume's Medical Research. Father, isn't that your lab?
Oh, shit. Oh, no. What the?
What the?
Let me see that. Poison's been stolen.
It's this morning's paper that Soseki-san gave us. Are you saying you didn't know?
As embarrassing as that is for the head of the laboratory, I didn't. I've not heard any such thing. Where on earth could the reporter have gleaned this information?
Come to think of it, there was no article mentioning this story in our paper this morning, was there?
It's a highly toxic poison we've been working on in the strictest confidence. Why? I'd put Ray in charge of the project.
Anytime y'all be working on poisons, someone dies.
Someone inevitably gets fucking murdered. It's not even an accidental, oops, I poisoned. It's just, I got murdered.
Ray, she was managing it?
If what's written here is true, it means that she tried to hide the theft from me. And moreover, the details were leaked somehow.
I don't believe it.
We need to read this article very carefully.
Ooh, we just extracted. Cool. Let's take a look. Exclusive deadly poison stolen from Yume Medical Research Laboratory. Following a lecture at Yume by Soseki Natsume on 11th August, it's come to light that a very disturbing incident took place. A deadly poison being secretly developed in the university's forensic science laboratory was stolen. Even the smallest amount entering the body, either via the mouth or via a wound from a poison-laced blade, would prove fatal in minutes. Current methods cannot detect the newly developed chemical. Of course not. The university would have to be consulted. Onset of symptom occurs within minutes, starting with impaired breathing and ending with acute contraction of the pupils. Prior to death, such symptoms would be suggestive of this toxin. It's apparently an entirely new synthesis of alkaloids and rumored to have been commissioned by the military. Oh god. You know, I gotta tell you, Imperial Japan and developing poisons, like, they just, like, those are two things you should never let happen. Really. Anyway, let's take a look at this pen.
If we take off the pen's lid... Now let's unscrew the barrel, shall we? This must be the little reservoir that holds the ink.
Yes, you fill it by drawing ink from a bottle up through the nib.
Is something wrong, Father?
Just that there doesn't actually appear to be any ink in there, that's all.
Oh, yes, you're right. It's pretty much empty. Well, it could be on the verge of running out, I suppose.
There's a very small amount of liquid still inside. It's gonna be poison.
Yup.
There's poison in the fucking pen.
The RM initials are very clearly engraved here.
The fact that Miss Brett was clinging to this pen in her dying moments is very clearly a message too.
To identify her killer, you mean?
I don't think there can be any doubt that this is a key piece of evidence in this case.
There's no good reason. Let's see. Thanks, I know what to do. I think my initial sort of thought is this statement. There's no good reason why the defendant would have tried to pull the knife from the victim. I think I'm just gonna drop a save here, but I think if we just present like the newspaper article or something, be like, well, she was testing for the poison. Right? There we go.
Oh, there you go.
No, there is one possibility. One very good reason why the defendant might have decided to withdraw the knife from the victim's wound.
What? Ha! The yokel not only has a poor grasp of the law, but is also a poor loser. Tell us then, what possibility do you think you've identified?
It's here, in this newspaper article. An article about a deadly poison having been stolen from a laboratory at the Imperial Yume University.
The victim perished from a stab wound. Poison has no relevance in this case.
But
Prosecutor Aochi, you will let the defense speak.
But a
Managing
newspaper
children.
article. The court cannot rely on the kind of hearsay those wretched publications carry.
Counsel for the defense. I am going to need some tangible basis for your claim.
Let's see.
ba-dum, ba-dum-dum.
You will indicate to the court precisely what part of the newspaper article mentioned affirms your assertion.
Your Excellency.
Yes, of course. Thank you. I would never have done something to further endanger Miss Brett's life without just cause. The reason why the defendant pulled the knife from the victim's body is explained in the article where it says,
Deadly in tiny qualities. Poison, so on. Yeah, deadly in tiny quantities.
the article reveals the following property about the poison in question. When the toxin enters the body on a knife laced with the poison, it's rapidly absorbed and causes death in minutes.
Are you suggesting?
If the knife used to attack Miss Brett was laced with this very poison, it would explain why the defendant, Membami-san, would have withdrawn the blade as soon as possible. Yes, the truth is, it was an attempt to stop the poison from entering the victim's body.
What?
This is complete and utter nonsense.
Not at all. The defendant withdrew the knife blade from the victim's body not to accelerate the woman's demise, but to save her life, and the prosecution cannot deny the possibility.
Have you not read the post-mortem report? The cause of death was hemorrhage. The word poison appears nowhere in the document.
Well, that's because by acting quickly to remove the blade, the defendant prevented the poison from taking hold.
Oh, please. This is clearly desperation. The weasel's last breaking of the wind. Poison has nothing whatsoever to do with this case, as I believe the defense is well aware. We have no proof that the information in this wretched newspaper article is at all reliable anyway.
In that situation, what the student should have done is wait for medical assistance to arrive. But instead you claim she suspected poisoning and took the potentially lethal decision to remove the blade. She must have had a strong reason for her suspicions then, or the argument makes no sense.
Exactly. Well put, Inspector. On what grounds did she do it? Yokel?
Why did Ray suspect the stolen poison was involved?
Oh, I'm loving the music in this game.
Yeah, right? If you want grounds, I'll give you grounds.
What?
You can't possibly.
From your expression, counsel, it would appear those are not empty words. But naturally, as you stand in this courtroom as a lawyer, you must be aware that words alone, empty or not, are of no value in our modern justice system. The court demands evidence.
Yes, Your Excellency. I'm well aware of that. I've seen it many times, from my place at his side in the Old Bailey.
In that case, counsel, you will present the proof to the court now. What evidence demonstrates a clear link between this case and the poison in the newspaper article?
Today! I would ask the court to refer to the notes section of the post-mortem report, which reads, extreme meiosis, pupil constriction, was observed in the victim. Is it meiosis? I think it's meiosis. Clearly, being a yokel with no knowledge of forensic science, I have no idea. So please, do tell me.
See, this is me right now. You're like, I don't know how to pronounce it. Well, you're the medical person, so I will defer to you.
Presumably, the fact that this condition of the victim was noted in the post-mortem report means that it's an unusual symptom of death?
Tisk, well,
Under normal circumstances, the pupils dilate when someone dies. If there was extreme constriction instead, that's most certainly unusual, yes.
what are you doing, you yokel detective?
In the newspaper article, there's the following information about the stolen poison. Onset of symptoms occurs in minutes, ending with acute contraction of the pupils prior to death.
What?
If the defendant, upon seeing the victim stabbed in the back, happened to notice that the pupils of Miss Brett's eyes had constricted severely,
Yes, as a medical research assistant, she would have suspected poison immediately, without doubt.
Prosecutor Ouchie. I think you'll agree. This is very compelling evidence.
Tisk, you yokel student and yokel professor!
I believe the defense has expertly demonstrated a credible reason for the defendant's actions.
No.
Eugene Mikotoba.
Yes, Your Excellency.
I believe you are best placed here to confirm or deny the veracity of the defense counsel's argument.
Bless you.
Thank you. You will tell the court the truth about the details reported in this newspaper, please.
I don't know if it's been the same over there, but allergies have been so bad here.
Oh, it's horrible.
Literally everyone in my house is fucking dying, like, all the
Yes.
time.
Awful.
It pains me to have to admit it, but I'm afraid I don't know.
You don't know?
The toxin was kept under lock and key in my laboratory, certainly, but I was unaware of any theft.
Do you mean to tell the court that the reports of this theft are unfounded?
No, Your Excellency. Without returning to the laboratory to investigate myself, I couldn't say.
Ha! Listen to the bumbling academic. Unaware of the theft of secret state research from his own workplace until he reads of it in the newspaper.
I take full responsibility for the incompetence of my supervision.
Father,
Tisk, a pitiful situation for a university professor. You should have more control over your students, rather than allowing them off on killing sprees.
that's totally unfounded.
Whoa!
None of this is Professor Mikotoba's fault. It's all my fault.
Ray!
Membami-san, you stand accused here. Outbursts like this will not be tolerated.
But it was me. I was the one who noticed that the poison we were developing had been stolen that day.
What?
So you knew.
I'd been placed in charge of overseeing the project. It was the day that the professor and Sasaki-san were interviewed together for the newspaper. That's when I noticed that some of the poison was missing. Just a tiny amount it was.
Why didn't you let me know immediately?
I was scared. The whole project was supposed to be confidential, but some of the toxin had somehow been taken. So, I decided I'd try to get it back before anyone else found out. because I had a very good idea who the thief was.
The thief? You don't mean...
Yes, of course. It was that dainty English woman.
Miss Giselle Brett.
That's why I decided to join the little group of people going to the seaside. Inside the beach hut, I confronted Miss Brett. But she just sat on a stool at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly at me, as if she knew she was untouchable. I know it was you who stole the poison. Well now, whatever do you mean? And then, she suddenly got to her feet, before falling to her knees in front of me and then collapsing on the floor. That's when I saw the knife in her back. I couldn't understand what had just happened. And then, a moment later, I was seized with fear. The pupils of her eyes they'd shrunk to tiny pinpoints.
I don't believe it.
In other words, you realized the victim was suffering from the effects of the stolen poison.
My mind started racing. I hadn't seen anything past Miss Brett's lips whilst I had been with her, which left only one possible way for the poison to have entered her body.
On the blade of the knife in her back.
And that train of thought was what spurred you to withdraw the blade.
Yes, if the amount that had entered her bloodstream was small enough, she might still have a chance. That's what I had hoped. Really, I'm so sorry for staying silent all this time.
Your attempt to hide the truth of what happened is not something that can be overlooked. However, I have duly noted the courage with which you confessed in the end.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
It's barely perceptible, but I do think the balance has shifted a little here, in this courtroom now.
Your Excellency, do not be deceived. The victim just collapsed before your eyes, you say. Well, Membami-san, if that is the case, perhaps you could explain how Miss Brett came to be stabbed. Well, you have no answer because the simple truth is that you stabbed the victim motivated by revenge.
But you have no conclusive evidence to prove that assertion, do you?
Oh, I have evidence, and it is very much conclusive.
What's the prosecution counsel up to? It was brief, but he hesitated for a moment there. I'm almost sure of it.
You will produce the aforementioned evidence at once, Prosecutor Aoji.
Perhaps some praise is due, young Yoko student.
What?
I had imagined there would be no need for me to submit this evidence. But you've brought this on yourself.
What the?
Could a more damning shot exist? The cruelty in the air on that beach is almost palpable.
Bro, who took this photo?
Yeah.
This evidence, more than any other, reveals the true extent of the accused's murderous nature. For it shows the precise moment that Membami-san plunged her dagger into the victim's back.
Yeah, because she was on the ground.
No, that's not true. No.
I don't believe it. Ah!
Order, order, order. Counsel for the defense. Was it you who was responsible for that shrill scream that just pierced my courtroom?
Perhaps his voice has yet to break. These yokels are slow of mind and slow to mature.
I'll show you who's slow to mature.
Careful now. Susato is starting to show her face here. Remember, Susato, you can't throw him yet.
I know, right? That's what I was thinking. It is often said that a picture is worth 1,000 words. And here we have ample proof. The court will accept this extremely cogent photographic print as evidence.
Incriminating photograph has been entered into the court record.
I can't believe he's had a photograph like this up his sleeve the entire time. It's such a stark image. I'm genuinely lost for words.
Wait a minute. I don't understand. How did you... I mean, who took that photograph?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Ray.
That's of no importance here. Stop trying to divert attention. Oh.
That's an absurd thing to say. It's crucially important. Whoever took this photographic print was a witness to Miss Brett's death. The court must be allowed to hear this person's testimony.
Ah!
I will uphold the defense's demand. The prosecution will reveal the identity of the person responsible for taking this photograph at once.
Well, I'm afraid I can't do that.
Pardon?
You see, this print arrived at the Imperial Police Bureau headquarters by express post yesterday, but there was nothing to indicate the sender's name or address. The provenance of the print is unknown.
Goodness.
Are we to understand then, Counsel, that in full knowledge of the fact that this photograph has the murkiest of origins, you nevertheless believe it fit for submission as evidence in the Supreme Court?
When you first produced that print before, I noticed that you hesitated for a brief moment. Because you knew that it wasn't completely reliable evidence, didn't you?
Silence, you yokel student and blabbering professor. What matters is the blatant truth that this print so eloquently expresses.
But the defendant has already admitted to pulling the blade from the wound. Clearly, this isn't the moment that the knife was plunged into the victim's back, but
The moment it was withdrawn. Don't waste this court's time with your ramblings.
Indeed. Without knowledge of who produced this print, we have no means of verifying the claim. And the scene it captures is without doubt the most compelling evidence presented to the court. If the defense is unable to shed any further light on the matter, I believe the conclusion is clear.
oh no!
When are we gonna get to see the knife?
Susato, this is the time for you to fight. If what you've established so far is true, then there can be no doubt. This photograph shows the moment that Ray withdrew the blade from the victim.
Yes, we just need to prove that somehow.
Tish, you'll have plenty of time to rue your defeat on the slow train back to the provinces.
Let's look at the other one.
And to rue the day you came up against Taketsuchi Aochi in the court of law.
If I can't determine who took this photograph, then the trial is going to come to an end. There must be a clue somewhere. There must be some way of working out who took it.
Well, Counsel.
Your Excellency. The burning question is who took that photograph, and the truth is,
Okay, is there any way of knowing who took this photograph? There's a big crack here.
I mean, it looks like somebody who was outside the hut. I mean, can you see it in the other? There's like a little crack, right?
Yeah, there's a little crack here.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we should answer that we have the person or we don't.
I mean, the only person I can think of is the paparazzi guy, but like,
I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking too.
do we have the?
Well, if not, we're just gonna bluff until we can.
this isn't about whether I can or can't come up with the answer now. I simply have to.
Good answer,
Okay.
Shisato.
The identity of the person who took this dramatic photographic print is, I assure you, something defense can and will reveal.
Oh God.
No, you can't possibly. But as you so boldly claim that you can, please do enlighten us.
Unfortunately, I'm unable to present a name.
How utterly underwhelming. Did you really believe you could?
However, I am able to present evidence. The defense has a piece of evidence that reveals important details about the photographer's identity.
Ah, okay, there we go. Big crack.
Ah. Very well then, Counsel. Present your proof to the court. Which piece of evidence do you claim reveals something about the identity of the mystery photographer? What is that? The newspaper again? Raucous England returnees tell all.
It's not the headline that's relevant here, Your Excellency. It's the photograph. If you look at it closely, you'll notice that there are some white lines on the right-hand side.
Ah, yes, indeed. They had already caught my eye as it happened.
Ha! What of it? A shadow of some kind, presumably. From the branches of a tree or the like.
There are no trees growing inside my laboratory at the university, I can assure you.
Now, if you look closely at this photograph,
Good gracious.
yes, exactly the same pattern of lines is present on this photograph too.
Well, that tells us nothing. Huh. Yes, it's a shadow of some kind, definitely. From the branches of a tree.
There wouldn't be any trees growing inside a hut at the beach, Counsel.
Mm.
What's quite remarkable about it is that the two patterns are absolutely identical. How could such an extraordinary similarity have transpired?
The curious matching pattern that appears on both photographic prints is a result of... Obviously, it must be due to a problem with the camera used to take the photographs.
With the photographic device?
Yes, we can confidently say that the camera's lens must be scratched, and that the scratched up lens causes unwanted lines to appear on every print taken with the device.
In short, the two photographs under consideration here.
Why are you licking my pocket?
Baby.
It's ticklish. It's tickling my thigh while licking my pocket.
Oh my god. Baby.
We're taken with the same camera.
But there must be hundreds of such camera devices here in the capital. It would be utterly impossible to identify the owner of this particular one.
I think you're forgetting, Prosecutor Aochi, that one of the photographs featured in a newspaper article.
A newspaper. Ah,
That's right. The author of that article is the mystery witness to this crime.
what? What was that?
What was that? I see why you were called a raucous England returnee.
What are you yelling about? You've already testified.
It's many memo, I tell you. Many memo. Memo.
So, Seki-san, what was that? Did you say many memo?
Ever since I returned to Japan, a reporter from the Shoyu News has been hounding me, following me every move. A reporter by the name of Rai-ten Many Memo. Yes, hounding me from dawn till dusk.
Ah, now that he mentions it.
Can we talk about this reporter?
Snapshots, scribble stories, and scupper my privacy.
Could that same reporter be?
Camera to the left of him, a notebook to the right. There I am, stuck in the middle with Rai-ten Many Memo.
Wait, writing many memo?
Writing many memo, yeah. This is a fun fact, but like pretty much all the Ace Attorney names are puns. Like for instance, notice the fact that Eugene Mikotoba, Eugene means good friend, and he's
Yeah.
a friend of Dr. John H. Wilson. Yume University just means famous university.
Yeah. So you're saying that this picture was taken by...
By Many Memo, yes, my lord, your excellency, Esquire.
Officer, find this newspaper reporter at once and bring him to my courtroom.
Oh, don't worry, he's right here.
Yeah, he's right here. We will adjourn for a short recess in the meantime.
Oh, yes, Your Excellency.
yes, as you say, Your Excellency.
And one more thing. I want this knife, the murder weapon, examined for traces of poison. You will solicit the assistance of the Imperial University's medical department for the task. Understood?
Meh. Many memo.
To be continued.
Of course we'll save.
Will we?
Okay, let's take our own recess. Take a little
Okay.
breaky so I can pee and get a snacky.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be back.
Alrighty.
Ba, 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 ba.
Taco Bell. Yo, quiero.
What does Taco Bell taste like? Um, it claims to be Tex-Mex, but it's fast food, so you know, it's not really. The nacho fries are apparently great. I've never had the nacho fries. What I usually get from Taco Bell, I first of all, I set my expectations at like a 2 out of 5, right? um and then let's see. I'll usually either get like the Crunchwrap Supreme, like just like a quesadilla, a chicken quesadilla, or some soft tacos. That's all I get from there. Yeah, that sounds about right. My roommate will get the quesarito. Um Actually, that's all he gets. He'll get the steak quesarito because he likes he when he wants Taco Bell, he just wants something with a ton of meat and cheese. When I get Taco Bell, I'm hoping to balance the meat and cheese with veggies, and so that's why I'll usually get like the Crunchwrap Supreme, or like any of like the Taco Supreme stuff. Because the Supreme means that they put like heckin' like lettuce and tomatoes and all
I'll
that
have you
jazz
know
in
that
there.
I have no intention of balancing such things.
Well, that's not why we order Taco Bell, right? But I just hope for something to cut through all the meat and cheese, you know?
Meat and cheese is the sole reason I go to Taco Bell. Listen, my favorite thing from Taco Bell is the nacho fries. Just because like I don't know, it might just be the best thing they've ever invented. But I really enjoy the Crunchwrap Supreme.
Yeah, right. It's good.
But I will also say this, which is that I have been eating Taco Bell for a very long time, and I will never forgive Taco Bell for discontinuing the volcano taco. I will never shut up about the fucking volcano taco with
I've
the
never
lava
had the
sauce.
volcano taco.
This was a thing when I was in like middle school.
Uh.
So this was like decidedly like a decade ago, right? Like maybe more than it was probably like 12 years ago that they had this fucking thing, but like it
Uh-huh.
basically was like a taco, and the only remarkable things about it that differentiated it from a regular Taco Bell taco was that it was like a red food dyed shell, which was whatever.
Mhm.
But they had a special lava sauce, which was like this super spicy cheese sauce, and it was
Okay.
so good. Which is very bad for your stomach, but who you to talk when you're eating a family-sized bag of Takis Fuego by yourself. Yeah, oh my god. Takis are so fucking good, but they're literally just like MSG capsaicin and like citric acid. But it's so good. My high school years, like, it was just horrifying. Like, I just like down a bag of Takis every Sunday. It was really bad. I don't know. I was gonna say I don't know what it was. I think now I've actually diagnosed what it was. But when I was younger, I really gravitated towards super extreme flavors. So like I wanted the spiciest thing I could get my hands on. I wanted the sourest thing I could get my hands on, the saltiest thing I could get my hands on. Now I'm realizing that it was probably ADHD that was doing that to me. But as a result, the volcano taco, super excellent. Takis, super excellent because they're super sour and they're super tasty and savory and delicious.
Don't talk to Mask about Takis. They just.
No, it's a good time. It's a good time. Well, the thing is that Renu, you and I live in like the two prime locations to get
Right.
our hands on like Mexican snacks.
Absolutely.
Like, so yeah, like the local 7-Elevens always have like the weirdo imported stuff that's like, how is this legal to like exist in the United States? It's so good. I love it. But yeah. I'm very passionate about bizarro foods. I love Taco Bell. I love it very much, knowing that it is kind of it's kind of garbage food, but that's
it's
okay
meant
by
to
me.
be.
That's what I want it for. I want like. To me, the best Crunchwrap Supreme is one in which the tostada is still crunchy and there is like a shit ton of cheese sauce, like an inadvisable amount of cheese sauce. Which is why I love the nacho fries, because they just give you a little dippy thing of cheese sauce, and like that's kind of what I want. I don't know what it is. There's something like very unique and irreplaceable about Taco Bell cheese sauce. There's like I've never replicated it perfectly, and like the like shitty store-bought stuff you get, or the stuff you get from like convenience stores, it just isn't the same. I don't know what it is about Taco Bell like cheese sauce. It's just something about delicious, gooey, fake, extremely not cheese sauce that is so good. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
It's the reason why Cole likes to get the quesarito, is because it's like a burrito, but then lined with cheese, and then another burrito wrap, and then another lining of cheese inside that. So it's like double the amount of the cheese.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing that they discontinued, was the grillers. The grillers used to have a lot of cheese sauce in them, and they were my favorite thing to get after they discontinued my beloved volcano tacos. Yeah, I remember very distinctly. My hometown had a combination Taco Bell KFC that shut down by the time I got into high school. But it had so I would go inside and I would get my volcano tacos, but at the same time I would get and this is really just to tell you where I was in like middle school, where like my favorite thing in the world was just to go to the combination Taco Bell and I almost said Taco Bell Pizza Hut. It's not a Taco Bell Pizza Hut. To Taco Bell KFC and get a handful of volcano tacos and a double down, which I don't know if you remember the KFC double down. It is an abomination to all things holy and godlike.
What is it?
It's basically like, imagine a chicken sandwich, but the bread is the fried chicken. So it's just two slabs of fried chicken and some like bacon, cheese, and like sauce slathered between them.
No.
It was like it's the kind of thing that they released in the like mid 2000s when like food was kind of just shitty everywhere in America, and like fast food was just like so much about like gimmicks and just about like delivering the kind of like most fast food thing you could think of. And so of course the KFC Double Down was one of the things that they invented. I'll say this about the KFC Double Down, at least my local place was really good at making these fucking things, because the chicken was always really juicy. And I think it coincides somewhat with the fact that there was a certain point where nationally KFC just kind of took like this nosedive into like being awful. Like I can't fucking eat there anymore. I don't think I've eaten there in probably like an actual decade at this point. I think I stopped eating KFC in high school and I just never looked back. I mean, why would you ever eat at a KFC when Popeyes exists, right? Like
that is exactly yes. I only go to Popeyes now. If
I'm gonna get fast food fried chicken for cheap, I'm gonna go to either a Popeyes or I'm gonna go to a Jollibee. And there's like, like why would you ever go to a KFC? It's just really garbage. Which is a shame in some respects, because I think KFC was actually pretty good about their like about their like quote unquote gimmick foods, their like signature unique foods. Because they invented the double down, which I liked a lot. But obviously was seen by the sort of parents of America as a national health crisis, right? I mean that makes sense. I don't blame you for thinking such things. And then you have the original like signature bowl or whatever that they had, which was like a bowl of mashed potatoes and gravy over which they put popcorn chicken and corn and like cheese on top of, and like that just works. Like it really does. Like it really, that's what the food kind of does on your plate anyway. But they put it into a bowl, and like, and again, this is probably an ADHD thing, but like the fact that I had so many like little disparate things that to enjoy in like one thing was like the greatest. There are no Jollibees near you, and it makes you sad every time you're reminded of this. Oh, that's tragic. I mean, you're Filipino, right? Like that's a crime. That's deprivation. I feel like Jollibee is to Filipino people like what God is there even like the American hamburger is to the American, right? Like you can't part with it. I love Jollibee. God, I love Jollibee. I think there's a Jollibee like 15 or 20 minutes away from me. It's like enough of a drive where I like don't want to do it all the time. I mean, you post an image like, yes, go for it, and I'm going to see if it works. I don't know if they're allowed. I don't remember my stream settings. I set them so long ago. You are. It's a cruel injustice. It is. It is. Okay. Okay, that seems to have worked. Oh, what is this? What am I looking at? It's like this is a tiny image.
Is that taco?
It looks like a tostada. Tostada Siberia. Why is it called that?
Tostada Siberia? What's in it?
It is a chicken tostada topped with guacamole and sour cream with pickled jalapenos. That sounds good. I mean, God, I love tostadas. Tostadas are so fucking good. Okay, shall we play some Ace Attorney maybe?
Okay.
our this extended discussion about Taco Bell is we can put a stop to that for now. Ooh, hey, my Taco Bell order has been picked up. Very cool. Love to see that. All right. Okay, let's go. Incredibly big. Ooh, that sounds nice. 13th August, 10:41 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature. Defendants antechamber 3. There was a Mexican place near where I used to live in my hometown that Sean really likes. That it's funny because he would always go for the burritos, and I feel like I would get everything but the burritos. They had really good quesadillas, like really good quesadillas. I like their tostadas too, but they were really expensive. But the meat was really good. So. Oh, I missed that place. Which one? I'm gonna dox myself. You know which one. It's the one near my house. I'm so sorry, Susato. I should have told you about the toxin. I guess that doesn't clear it up. I think all of those places were equidistant. It's the place close to Tyler's house.
Ray.
You have a strong sense of responsibility, I know. That's why you decided to shoulder the burden alone.
No, that's not it at all.
I was just scared of my failure coming to light, that's all. So I hoped to retrieve the substance from the Englishwoman before anyone found out. Before the trial started, do you remember what you said, Susato? That you had no doubt in your mind about my innocence. That you'd stand by me to the last.
I remember.
And yet I didn't deserve your trust in me. I hid important details from you, Susato. I completely betrayed your faith in me.
Hit me, Susato. I deserve it. No, in fact, throw me to the floor.
Mm.
Harder, Daddy.
Oh!
No, that's too good for me as well. Drag me through the city streets.
I'm no better, you know?
She's like, please calm down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Even though in my heart I knew that you'd pulled the knife blade from Miss Brett's back. There was just a brief moment when, in my mind, I doubted you.
Susato.
I'm sorry. After I stood here and promised you that I'd stand by you and always be on your side. I betrayed your faith in me too. And as such, I failed you as a lawyer.
Oh, no.
I think this situation has taught both of you a valuable lesson. Placing your unbridled faith in one another is no easy task.
Yes, Father. That fact has certainly struck home.
Man, this is a Wendy's, a courtroom. Yeah, honestly.
Which is why I can see more clearly now. So, Ray,
Yes?
can you fight it in your heart to forgive me?
Oh, Susato. You know you'll always be a gallant, dashing lawyer in my eyes now.
Oh, Ray.
You're building some weird expectations of me. I was so scared, you know. When it happened, I didn't know what was going on. The Englishwoman was sitting at the back of the hut, listening to what I was saying. I know it was you who stole the poison. Well now, whatever do you mean? And then a moment later, she suddenly got to her feet. Before collapsing on the floor in front of me, with a knife in her back. It all happened right before my eyes.
And you were the only people in the hut at the time?
That's right, just Miss Brett and myself. There was no one else. So I just don't understand how she could possibly have been stabbed like that.
A great mystery indeed.
I still can't believe it happened. That's why I just couldn't bring myself to speak up.
It will be alright. However it happened, and whatever really went on by the sea that day, I promise you that I'm going to prove everything you said you saw is true.
Spoken like a true Mikoto. Now, I think we should discuss what's coming up in the trial, don't you? We don't have much time. We must make sure we have our facts in order.
Yes, I expect the poison is going to come under close scrutiny in the upcoming proceedings. The police should hopefully have identified it on the blade by now.
The trouble is, it's a completely new laboratory synthesized blend of alkaloids. The police won't have any way of testing for it.
Oh, I see.
Yes, without this chemical reagent, it's impossible to detect the toxin.
Chemical reagent?
I sent a colleague of mine off with some earlier to deliver to police headquarters. I think perhaps you should have some as well, though, just in case.
Chemical reagent.
What's the matter, Susato? You're suddenly very quiet.
It's this newspaper article. Exclusive deadly poison stolen from Yume Medical Research Laboratory. I'm wondering how the information got out, given that it was a government secret.
It's a very good question.
It was all the Englishwoman's doing.
What?
It was when the professor and Soseki-san were being interviewed at the laboratory. The so-called English lady swaned in, and without any compunction said to Professor Mikotoba, "Oh, Professor, surely your guest would love to hear about your work on that substance there?"
It put me in a very awkward position, to be frank. But Soseki-san's curiosity had been piqued, so I had little choice but to give him a cursory introduction.
So then, Soseki-san knew about the poison.
Yes, and it's highly likely that the reporter who was writing up the story about us would have caught a glimpse of the toxin too.
This mini memo-san.
I can't wait to see what this guy looks like.
By the way, did that reporter join you all when you went to the beach?
Oh, no. I don't remember the reporter being there.
Indeed, he shouldn't have been. I very much doubt anyone would have wanted him there.
Oh?
A known criminal had been given permission by the authorities to bathe by the seaside. Soseki-san pointed out that inviting a reporter might be problematic, so the man was sent back to his office.
Yet he obviously didn't go back. He secretly followed the party to the beach and took this very candid photograph. And then presumably he posted it, anonymously, to the police.
Yes, that must be what happened.
Counsel, we've just heard that the new witness is now ready to testify. The trial is about to resume. Please proceed into the courtroom at once.
It's time to steel ourselves once again, then. Defense attorney Ryutaro Naruhodo.
Yes. Ray has put her faith in me now and told me everything. So I can't let her down. I have to prove that what she's telling the court is true. I have to prove what really happened that day.
August 11:30 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature. Courtroom 1.
I hereby call this court to order as we reconvene to continue the trial of Raymond Bami. Prosecutor Aochi, have you summoned the new witness?
Before I address that question, Your Excellency, I have some very important news to share.
Oh?
What news? And why does he look so happy about it?
During the recess with the collaboration of Professor Mikotoba's laboratory at Yume University, the police re-examined the knife that was used to end Miss Giselle Brett's life.
There's no poison on it because it's in the pen.
Excellent. I admire your rapid handling of the matter.
Oh, too kind, Your Excellency, too kind. I was merely carrying out your instructions, of course.
And the reagent delivered to police headquarters by rickshaw, so we'll be there in good time. But judging by the man's swagger, I fear we might need to brace ourselves for the inevitable.
And counsel, what were the results?
This dagger, which was so cruelly used to end the life of the victim, has no trace of poison anywhere along its blade.
sure about that?
I would stake the reputation of the police on it.
And with the reagent, the test is extremely simple. I couldn't have made a mistake.
In short, the accused's feeble excuse earlier has been utterly destroyed.
Ah!
Now the prosecution is ready to call the new witness.
Ah, the newspaper reporter who managed to capture a photograph of the crucial moment. Good. Very well. Officer, bring in the witness.
No trace of poison on the knife. But if that's really the case, how could the toxin have entered the victim's body?
He's literally right here, yeah. Same guy. I knew it. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court.
I'll let you have this one.
Writing mini memo of the Show You News. I'm what people like to call a journo.
What's a journo, Father? Do you know?
It's simply a contraction of a journalist.
I'm there when the news breaks, putting pen to paper to catch those scoops so they're in print the next morning.
There's something about his design. He looks like he looks like just like an old school.
He looks like a
anime
Lupin character.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Like he looks.
Yeah,
looks
see,
like,
Magpie
a
thinks
Lupin
so too.
character.
He looks like a Lupin character.
Yeah. Oh my god.
They don't call me the hero of the Herald for nothing. The nice guy of news.
No one scoops like writing.
Oh, so, it was you who took this photograph, was it?
Hang on one second.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with my vodka.
Well, well, what have we here?
1 second,
Oh.
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell. Okay.
Sorry about that. I had to get my buckle.
Wow. I'm sorry?
Oh, brace yourselves, people. Many Memo senses a scoop in the offing. Female student up to foul play defended by curiously handsome young lawyer in Supreme Court. The readers will lap this up. We'll set it above the fold at 72 point in a 5-leg format for the morning edition. Huh? Right then, let's start with your name.
Oh, it's Ryutaro Naruhodo.
Maybe we shouldn't answer questions.
Uh-huh. Next, what made you want to become a lawyer?
I wanted to reform our country's legal system, I suppose.
Very normal, casual thing to say. Ryutaro has suddenly become very ambitious, I see.
I just borrowed Kazuma-sama's dream for a while.
By the way, my name is Taketsuchi Aochi. That's Taketsuchi Aochi. The so-called dark horse of the Supreme Court. My objections strike fear into every defense lawyer's heart.
No, the readers won't buy that.
What?
Witness. Please. Yes? What this court demands to know is whether or not you were responsible for the taking of this picture. It was delivered anonymously to the Imperial Police Bureau only yesterday. Yeah, I wouldn't be a journo if I didn't click quick when presented with a scoop like that, now would I? Sometimes stories call out to me, sometimes I have to chase them down. But either way, you've got to be fast. Fast legs to run with and a fast hand to write with. It's no good if you don't note it down, I always say. That's what I call my many-memoism. Anemone.
Many-memoism?
You're right. It'll be so great when people start requesting Ryutaro Naruhodo in court. Yes, I remember your face. We met that day when you were interviewing myself and Suzuki-san.
Yes, right. That was me. Many memo again.
You were supposed to be going back to the Shoyu News offices after our meeting.
But the scoop is, I didn't. Because that English woman's words had piqued my journalistic interest.
Miss Brett's words?
A criminal left to do as she pleases just because she happens to be a British citizen?
No, wait, maybe it's... Sorry, anyway.
It's horse dung. This country's judiciary is rotten to the core. The Supreme Court's rulings aren't worth the paper they're written on. The police are just imperial pawns.
Stay your tongue, young man. There are complex political issues at play.
Well, anyway, I quickly jotted down those words she said in my memo pad. Are you ready? I'll read it out. It's all here. Right here goes. I should like to go with everyone to see your country's coast. A serious criminal going on some junket. The people need to know about this.
Yep.
That's why I decided to sneak after them. To get the woman's story so I could hammer her in the press. Do you mean to say that you did indeed witness it firsthand? The grim scene portrayed in this photograph? Oh yes, I saw it with my very own journo eyes. From start to finish through the viewfinder of my trusty camera. Thank you, Many Memo-san. You will now give a formal testimony before the court. You will state exactly what it is that you witnessed of the events surrounding Miss Brett's death. The beach hut was made of shoddy old reed screens, so there were plenty of gaps I could see inside through. The Englishwoman was sitting on a stool when the student girl came in and started arguing with her. Seconds later, the girl pulled out a knife, throwing the Englishwoman to the floor as she stabbed her in the back. My smoldering journal spirit burst into flames! Quick as a flash, I whipped out my camera, ready to click. I pulled apart the rough weave of one of the screens and poked the lens through for the perfect shot.
Read screens, you say?
Right! You can see them clearly enough in that great shot I snapped. The hut walls were just screens made of coarsely woven reeds. Yes, it allows the breeze to pass through and bring some relief from the summer heat. And it was a breeze for me to poke my camera through and see the whole thing hotting up.
Ignoring for the time being the appalling invasion of privacy involved.
This man needs to go to jail.
Did you witness everything that happened from the moment the defendant entered the hut?
Oh yes, I saw it. I saw the whole thing from start to finish.
And you say that you took the photograph through a gap in one of the screens?
Luckily for me, they were pretty shoddily woven. I pulled the reeds apart and thrust the lens of my camera through the gap. Would I get away with it, or would I be seen? It was the gamble of a lifetime.
A tenacity of purpose that's considered admirable in a journalist, I suppose.
Run a risk one day, run a scoop the next. That's many memoism in a nutshell. At last. It would appear we have a genuine witness to this wicked crime. The evidence and testimony are extremely compelling. I believe we may be close to a verdict.
Oh, I'm sure we are.
No.
Wonderful news, Your Excellency. Wonderful. I'm sure that your verdict will be reached very soon and not be delayed for another 2 parts.
Nevertheless, it cannot be denied that this testimony begs one very large question.
What question?
Exclusive news, a startling photograph, all the makings of an exceptional story for the reporter. Why then was the story never published?
Oh, that's right.
It seems clear to me that there are circumstances at play here that are yet to be understood.
More pathetic excuses.
They did not put any steak fries in my steak fry burrito. Or nacho fries, rather.
What's the point?
What was the point of the burrito? It's named after fries!
Very well then, counsel. Proceed with your cross-examination.
Yes, Your Excellency. There's more to this reporter than meets the eye.
It reminds me, there's this like local Mexican place that every time I order food from there, they get my order wrong. I'm like 1 for 4 for a correct order. One time I ordered food and I literally just got a wrap full of beans. It was like a burrito, but the only thing in the burrito was black beans. I was like, this is for somebody that was not me.
No.
He's keeping something about this case very close to his chest.
All right, before this cross-examination begins, I'm going to put this plate away. All right, sorry about that. All right, back. Okay, let me just refresh myself on what this test. I was eating during this whole testimony.
He claims to have spied the whole affair from start to finish. If true, his testimony is devastating.
But it does seem as though he's holding something back, doesn't it?
If that's how you feel, I suggest that you trust your instincts and press him on everything he said. As you've no doubt seen done many times before in your role as a judicial assistant. You've definitely played this game before, right?
Yes, I have.
I hope so.
I've seen witnesses like this pressed often. I know exactly what to do. press him. Press him real good.
Shoto mata.
Mata! What made you want to see what was happening inside the beach hut in the first place?
Call it journo instinct. Can you think of a better reason?
Oh, I don't know. Perhaps because, as well as being a proven criminal, the person inside was a young woman.
Ah, I see where you're going with this. Brace yourselves, people. He's painting the journo as a voyeur.
It's hardly slander, sir. You had a camera and you were taking pictures without the woman's knowledge.
True.
Yeah, I mean,
The enemy of
Clap, clap.
womankind.
Nope, you got it all wrong, little student boy.
sorry?
To my mind, all that was inside that hut was a scoop. Nothing more, nothing less.
That does not make it any less illegal.
Scoops no gender, man or woman, it's all news. That's not even many memoism. It's basic journalism.
If only the courtroom was as indiscriminate.
It's true. Then we wouldn't have to lie.
Right, so if that's all buttoned up, can we move on? Tell the court then, witness, what sight befell your eyes when you looked inside the hut? A sight that vindicated my journo instinct, that's what. When I pulled back the reeds, I could see it all as clear as day.
The difference between a journalist, a paparazzo, and a scumbag are just decimal points of sleaze. You are correct.
So you actually saw Membami-san entering the hut?
Yep, and she was raging. Raging like my journo spirit.
And the argument you mentioned, what was that about exactly?
You stole it. I didn't steal it. That kind of thing.
Talking about the poison, perhaps.
The student girl walked right up to the Englishwoman and really started laying into her. I mean, if she'd laid into her anymore, there would have been eggs.
All right.
Okay.
Whatever you say, man.
Uh-huh.
The man should have been an author. His descriptive talents are wasted on journalism.
But the student's rantings fell on deaf ears, like a Japanese person listening to English for the first time.
He really ought to work on his similes first, though, to be honest.
Anyway, the point is, that woman in the dock was mightily angry.
And her temper finally got the better of her, it seems. Dear me.
Which was the climactic moment that I caught on film.
Do you swear before this court that you actually saw the precise moment when the stabbing took place?
Ha! The precise moment? I didn't see just that. I saw the whole hellish scene play out from start to finish.
I have here a simple plan of the beach hut. Perhaps you could use it to explain to the court exactly what you witnessed.
Right you are. It's all here in my memo pad. When I first peered into the hut, I'm sure that the English woman was on this stool at the back of the hut here.
Yes, the accused's own testimony confirmed that.
She just sat at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly, is what I have noted down.
It's my turn to testify now. Try not to interrupt. Then the next moment, as I was watching,
Pretty sure in the real world that if a journalist had any reason to believe a crime is being committed live, they still have a civic duty to stop it first and report later. You would think. It's not like a nature documentary, right? Like, you're not just like, and here we see the African gazelle being mauled by a lion. It's like you're watching two people get into an altercation that maybe you could do something about. I mean, he probably accidentally killed her or something, so like, you know.
The evil student girl entered the hut. After a while, the pair of them ended up in the middle of the hut, arguing furiously.
Like, at any rate, he's going to go to jail for one reason or another.
The English woman went for the student, but the girl dodged out of the way. And in a flash, plunged the knife into her adversary's back as the two passed each other. What you describe as a grim crime indeed. Never sugarcoat the truth. That's what many memoism says.
Speaking of, why don't we look at some of the other evidence we got? Ah, yes, this must be the victim's blood.
Oh dear. Blood is never a pretty sight, is it? I'm having to fight the urge to run it under a hot tap and get it clean.
I like how that's her concern.
Right.
You've always been fastidious about cleanliness, haven't you? She was like this in the other game too.
I think this is something else, Father.
Nothing else to note about the blade.
The label appears to be written in a foreign language that I don't know.
It's German, so your knowledge of English is going to be a little help here, I'm afraid.
Couldn't you just have written medicine on it in Japanese? Then we'd all be able to read it.
German is the international language of medicine, my dear. But yes, I can certainly see the merit in labeling the bottle in Japanese. Though I'm not sure medicine would be entirely appropriate. Can we use it? No? Okay. I'm going to assume we can't do this quite yet, but... Alright. Beach hut plan. Woo!
By the way, Minimamo-san, whilst you were watching that terrible scene unfold before your eyes through the gap in the screen, did it not occur to you to try to prevent the tragedy rather than capture it on film?
Think emoji.
Journos have to be observers. We can't get involved. That's our... Oh, Jesus. How do I say that? I'm not French. Help me.
Raison d'être. Daughter. Raisin daughter.
Oh no.
Where is on that?
Oh my god. Pronunciation.
I've been told that it's raison d'etre.
Dieter raisin.
Also, I like how he's like, they have to be observers. But you watched a crime.
Raison d'etre.
I will not tell Cole that we did that.
So you didn't converse with Miss Brett at all? Obviously not. An observer always remains on the outside looking in.
Don't your
Wait,
shoulders
come
hurt
on.
from slapping that?
And that's something to be proud of, is it?
I'll have you know I've witnessed lots of crimes, and I've done nothing to stop any of them.
My god, dude.
Your Excellency, if I may.
Yes, Professor?
I think the witness's last, expertly phrased statement should perhaps be added to his formal testimony.
Father, what are you...
I will grant the defense's request. Many Memo-san, you will supplement your formal testimony with the aforementioned statement. Well, nihilism is the foundation of many Memoism, but I'll gladly prove that my words aren't meaningless.
Strangely, that explains so much. I never once set foot in the hut, nor spoke with the Englishwoman. I was only there as an observer.
What the... Really? You didn't set foot inside the hut at all? Are you quite sure about that?
I think you may have the wrong impression of me. We're talking about a murder scene here. My nerves are stretched to breaking point already.
Oh, I see. You were scared? Maybe I did have the wrong impression of you, yes.
It was all I could do to stifle a scream and hold my hand steady enough to snap the shot.
You really should have summoned help before thinking of your camera.
Many Memoism and humanism don't always agree.
Jesus, man, I think your ideology has some problems.
And most of the time in those instances, many Memoism comes out on top.
This man is a menace to society.
He lives by his own rules. As a sculptor of stories, sometimes I have to be cruel for my art. Yes, that's spot on.
Surely he's making all this up.
That's almost worse.
Yeah, she looks very cute when she's very, you know, just at a loss with this man.
Yeah. Like, I'm sure we have to present something here. Never once set foot in the hut, nor spoke with the English as an observer. Maybe the poison article, just like, you know, like you did speak with her.
Wait, is she in the article?
No, but it was like about the poison. Otherwise, like maybe these shoe prints. Because is she wearing shoes?
Yeah,
I
she looks
can't
like
tell
she's
if wearing
barefoot.
shoes. Yeah. All right, let's go for it. That wasn't it.
No.
Not it, Chief. Rewind. Chotomata.
Choto.
What else did he say?
Wait, can you look at the map again? Of the one that he said of the hut?
Yeah.
Culprit, victim. I'm wondering if there's something in here that he wouldn't have been able to see unless he was inside. You know?
That's kind of what I was thinking. You know, actually, hang on. You know what? Maybe. I think it has to either be this photo or this plan. Because I think.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. The plan. Yeah.
Well, he was if he was watching from like this angle or
back.
whatever, he wouldn't be able to
Yeah.
see the stool.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, that wasn't it.
Ah,
This is actually faster than going through the entire like.
yeah, the whole dialogue.
Oh, that wasn't it either. Oh,
Oh, okay. Well, maybe it's something else. A different
Maybe it is.
statement.
Maybe maybe now that we have this statement, we can press a different one. Sometimes that's what it is. We'll just fast forward through all this stuff. Ba-da-ba-da-ba. This man deserves to be in jail. Oh, wait, hold on. What was that?
Huh?
Oh, wait, hang on. Okay. I think this is it. This must be it. Not.
Oh.
Please. Nope. Must be something else. Sigh. Oh, the trial and error phase. Oh, okay, hang on.
The court is fully aware of your desire to capture the incident on film, I'm sure.
It won't let me skip this, so it must be important.
But why then did you choose to post the photograph anonymously to the police?
I'm afraid I don't understand a word that's coming out of your mouth.
Alright, Sussy Baka.
I'm asking why, as a journalist, you decided not to make a story out of the incident.
Think of me as a sculptor who makes art out of the sordid private details of other people's lives.
Sounds terrible.
But I never discuss my personal life on principle. I mean, that's basic mini-memoism.
It's not something to boast about.
No doubt your burning desire to see the truth exposed and justice done was what motivated you.
That's it? That's brilliant. My burning desire to see something or other exposed.
There has to be a good reason why he didn't think to write an article about what he saw, though.
By your own admission, you were outside the hut. How then did you manage to take the photograph? Ah, yes, that. I'm glad you asked.
But the two women inside didn't notice?
Ha! Obviously not. If they had, where would I be right now? In jail, that's where.
Okay, so he knows he belongs in jail.
Which you'd think would make you reflect on what you were doing.
No, a journo's job is to collect little snippets of life as unobtrusively as possible. Leave nothing but footprints, take nothing but photos. Yes, that's spot on.
Did he just make that up?
Yes. The point is, the witness risked life and limb to obtain this photograph. And this photograph reveals the whole truth. There's nothing more to be said.
I wonder if him saying the little footprint, leave nothing but a footprint, is where we could produce the photograph of the footprints. But it's not like... It's only when he's pressed.
Yeah.
That he says it.
Okay, that's fine. I'll delete that. That's a tough one.
Can you wait? You can't click on the footprints?
No. So this is the photos we can only ever do the magnifying glasses on. Oops. I mean, this pen probably belongs to him. But I don't know if that's like what that was, so. Guess not yet. What is it? Oops. That was a misclick. Whoa. Hmm.
I don't know, I'm stumped. Is there a way to prove he spoke with the victim? That's kind of what I was thinking, right?
Yeah. I mean, did you present the poison thing?
The poison thing?
Yeah, because you said you wanted to present
Yeah,
the
yeah, I tried to
article,
present
not
that.
the- Oh, okay.
Oh, hang on. Oh, there we go. I know I missed something. I had to look this up. God damn it.
There's some sort of emblem here, look.
I'm usually pretty thorough about this.
But it isn't a Yume University one.
Must belong to some other organization, I suppose. A business of some kind. But that would seem to imply that the pen doesn't, in fact, belong to Ray. I'm guessing we can present the thing now. There we go.
Ah.
Memo-san, until now I've had a firm belief that newspapers are in the business of uncovering and publishing the truth.
You're spot on there. The press doesn't lie, which is why I'm proud to wear the emblem of the Shoyu News on my arm. In a way, that's more Many-Momoism.
Man, this guy's actually, like, kind of a menace, huh?
Sadly, though, it seems the journalists who write for those papers don't always share the same passion for the truth.
What are you suggesting with those recriminatory words, Counsel?
Memo-san, do you recognize this fountain pen?
Ah!
This pen was found at the scene of Miss Brett's death. In fact, the murdered victim was gripping it in her hand as she died.
What are you?
If you look at the barrel of the pen, you'll notice that its owner's initials are engraved there. RM.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up, Counsel. The initials of the accused, Ray Mimbami.
Is it a coincidence, I wonder, that your initials are also RM?
No!
Write in Memo. RM.
That's horse dung. Can't you see? One of the central tenets of Many-Momoism is being a pencil user.
That seems incredibly false.
And yet, as the court will clearly be able to see, on your right hand, there is a very obvious blue ink stain.
It would appear that you must have rather carelessly left it somewhere recently. Your favorite fountain pen, that is.
Horsey horse tongue.
Memo-san, is it not the case that before she died, you met with Giselle Brett in that beach hut?
Why should we listen to this absurd nonsense? It's nothing but another excuse.
Exactly. Shoyu News will stand behind me all the way. I deny everything. There must be as many people with the initials RM as there are stars in the sky.
The defense has neither the time nor the inclination to count every star in the sky. And there's no need anyway, because this pen has more to tell. Yes, there is another clue. A clue that undeniably proves who its owner really is.
In that case, counsel, the defense will now sorry. In that case, counsel, the defense will now show the court where this alleged clue lies.
I like the implication of him just saying that. It's like,
Now, Counsel, the defense!
Like, maybe the judge converted to many memoism, so
Yeah.
he just starts talking like the guy.
Of course, Your Excellency. The clue on this fountain pen that clearly reveals its owner's identity is...
Bam!
As well as the initials, there is also an emblem on this fountain pen. An emblem that you will of course recognize, Minimemo-san.
Goodness me. It's the emblem of the Shoyu News.
Oops.
Oops. In other words, the owner of this pen is an employee of the Shoyu News, whose initials are RM. Suddenly, the stars in the night sky don't seem so numerous, do they?
Get him! Take him down!
Yep.
Well, Minimemo-san, how do you respond?
Drag him.
No! Order. Order. Explain yourself, witness. Ha. 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 So, this is how the mighty Supreme Court works, is it? Using coercive tactics to have well-meaning citizens reveal harmless secrets.
I've used nothing but honest tactics.
All right then. Fine, I won't try to hide it anymore. Yes, not long before that grim tragedy unfolded. I, a Shoyu News reporter on behalf of the public, conducted an interview with the English woman.
Oh boy.
An interview?
You never mentioned this before?
Why would?
When exactly was this?
As I said, it was before that evil little student girl showed her face in the hut. It couldn't have lasted more than 2 or 3 minutes, that's all. It was just a brief exchange. But it came to nothing, and as we many memoists say, the people don't pay their dues for unworthy news. However insignificant you deem it to be, this court cannot overlook the meeting between yourself and the victim. You will testify now under oath about the precise nature of this meeting and what transpired. Got it. Yes, all right, but on one condition.
Condition?
In all good conscience, I could speak out alone about this. You need to call back the earlier witness, Soseki Natsume-san.
Soseki-san?
Oh yes, according to my notes here, that man has a secret of his own. And brace yourselves, because it's not a harmless one. It's big.
What?
What?
Many memoism states that one man's secret is every other man's front page story. Very well. I will grant the witness's request in this instance. Why? Officer, summon the earlier witness back to the stand. I'm getting tired.
Soseki-san, hiding something?
We can break before the next testimony starts.
Okay.
Witness testimony.
Where's the options? There we go. Okay, all right. We'll finish this up next time. Then I'm sure there's not that much left, but again, it's late. So we will finish this up next time, and then probably we'll just roll right into case 2. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we've gotten that much closer to whoever stabbed the lady.
I get the impression that this man stabbed that lady.
Yeah, but we also got to find out like a bunch of other stuff about her. I think there's quite a bit to this case. I don't think it'll be as long as the other tutorial case, but I think it'll be something.
It's kind of a crime how long that tutorial case was. Oh, hydrating.
Hydrating?
Okay, that was fun. I will see you all next week. Or if you want to come, I think we're doing not Ace Attorney. We're doing tier list stream tomorrow. We're doing Paladins. Paladins.
Paradin.
Paradins.
Ranking them paradins.
Paladins. Yeah, that'll be fun. Looking forward to that. It's been a long time since we did. It was like 3 weeks since we did the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will see you there. If you wanna come. Bye.
Bye. Bye.